Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
I love you, baby. I love you, baby.
Check this thing on.
First Guy Omaha Radio, First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning. Can you feel it?
1, 2, 1, 2. All right. Time to get up and move your body.
Hey. Move your body.
Why? Time to get up and love somebody.
Yeah, that part, man.
Season 7 Love Supreme.
Okay, Mama God coming from YouTube.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. That's what's up. YouTube is going off already.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this fresh edition of First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Wednesday, February 21st, 2024. Myself, Paul Beeee. He's Buddi3 Da Gawd.
Hey.
It's all of you, chat chambers, ghost listeners. What's happening, y'all? Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
It is hump day. And shout out to everybody getting on YouTube this morning. Shout out to Mama God, Tamika Johnson, give us some sunshine.
Yeah, man.
Like Easter gives us a What's Up Wednesday. What's happening?
What's up?
Appreciate y'all. Got a text from Pops a little earlier. He's a little under the weather, so he's gonna sleep in this morning.
Okay.
Everybody's looking for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, thanks for everybody joining us. Already got word. The mix was good on this from the Club 630 on the radio channel.
Vibrations.
Thanks for that. Appreciate that. Shout out to Beth, who's a faithful listener over there on the listen button. Go to firstsky.omaha.com, hit the listen button if you want to check us out. Or if you got an Alexa, you can ask Alexa to play First Sky Omaha Radio. Let's get our digital radio on a little bit more.
Yeah, man. Come on, get down. Take us with you anywhere you go.
Anywhere, everywhere. It's on your phone. It's an easy deal. And great music all day. And then, of course, we break and do this show in the morning as well. So shout out and let us know if everybody's coming through loud and clear over there on the radio channel. Also, new thing that we got going on too, if you haven't heard yet, get on TikTok. Check out First Guy Omaha on the TikTok page and get your news briefs. It's going down over there.
Yeah, man. There's gonna be some other content coming that way as well. So yeah, check us out on TikTok. And if you're just adamantly against TikTok, let us know. Where are you? Where are we? Where can we find you?
Yeah, absolutely. Mama God said trying to switch since you'll shut down FB eventually soon.
Okay. Yep, speaking of finding us, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you doing that. We're actually just going to move the chat chimer portion of the show to YouTube. We'll probably still be broadcasting over Facebook as well. But for serious chat chimers, who we're going to really include everybody who's a serious chat chimer, we're going to move over to YouTube for that eventually.
Yeah, man.
Gwen Easter says, I hope your dad feels better. Appreciate that, Miss Easter. Yeah, he should be all right. Mark Matter gives us a good morning from... Why can't I read that word? Arboretum. Okay. Man. Now I'm sitting here looking at the screen, so there's no reason for me to have to put no readers on to see stuff.
Arboretum?
I'm just going to put it out there.
What is that? Is that like a...
Words running together on me.
What is an arboretum? I have an idea. Arbory is like dealing with trees.
Yeah, he be out. He be getting his walk on, man. You know that.
Man.
Yeah, he be out in nature. Especially right now while the weather's like pretty decent.
Yeah, I heard it was been all right out there in the
decent. Yeah. So Brother Manor out there getting some nature. It is gonna cool off today though, I did hear. But it's supposed to warm back up tomorrow right away. So it's doing that bipolar thing it does.
I told you, man. March. You gotta let it get to March. Like mid to late March, you'll be all right.
All right. Judy Printer gives us a morning. Good morning to you as well. Rome's Review said, First Sky is your vehicle, baby. Take you anywhere you want to go. Love you and need you. Always
okay.
Lyrics. I like it.
Yeah, thank you. The mayor.
Sue Kessler Hagen gives us a good morning on Facebook. Appreciate that. Guillermo Pena. Morning over there on YouTube.
In the morning.
Appreciate you, brother. Also, he says it's the OPPD Tree Park.
Oh yeah, like right off of 90th and Maple, I want to say,
90th and Maples, that where's that?
or Blondo.
Okay. I'm determined to get out see some of these woods and some of these wooded areas in Nebraska this year
It's
when
not
it starts
bad.
to warm up. Yeah,
It's not bad. It's not bad. Hanscom Park has a nice trail. Man, yeah, it's some nice trails out there. Some nice
found
trails out there.
found out that there's a bunch of passes you can get if you got a library card, so that's pretty dope.
Yeah. Get out there. I still haven't been to Mahoney State Park.
What really?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I was going out there every year to volunteer for that Moonshell Storytelling Fest, man, which is
Yeah. You
still
was telling
going
me
on.
about that.
Yeah, still going on too. We've been meaning to try to get with them on some stuff because they bring in world class storytellers, man, fly them in from Japan, all kinds of places,
Man.
and they need a little bit more exposure when they come out here. You know, 'cause nobody knows that they're even here unless they know about the storytelling fest. So
Yeah,
yeah, figure it out,
yeah.
man.
I hadn't really heard about it until you said something. I like to fancy myself a storyteller.
Yeah. I can definitely see you on stage with those folks doing your thing for sure.
Man.
So we'll dig in this year, see what's up.
Yes, sir.
Gwen Easter says, "I love watching on Facebook. Please don't leave it." Yeah. It'll probably be broadcast out there, but like I said, we're moving the Chad Chimer situation to YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, Amy H. Dot says, "Good morning, fam."
Hey.
Man, Amy, we got some hard news yesterday. Our restaurant, the restaurant that we've been digging so
Man.
much. Yeah, y'all. Ellie's Chicharrono, what's it called? Chichoro Caribbean Bistro is closing. So Ellie's, I don't know if we talked to you guys about. I think we talked about it when we went down there and visited the first time we got taken down there.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you was in town too and came to.
Oh yeah.
Forgot about
I was able to grace the soil, man, and check it out, man, and step foot in Puerto Rico a little bit.
Man, yeah, dude. They're saying they're shutting down for now and gonna do something different here and move it and change it up and all that good stuff. But it's kind of sad news though, just because if you're having trouble in a spot, then you're just having trouble. You know what I mean?
Man,
So
there's actually a couple of places that will be closing down. We might get into that a little later on. Yeah,
I
man.
don't, I
Yeah,
don't know if
man.
they're gonna be closing down, but they are in threat of closing down. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
gotta talk about it.
Yeah, it's definitely
Yeah.
some tense situations. Some
Yep.
people
Yep.
making a mad dash. So yeah, we'll definitely be talking about that. But before we get into what we're gonna be getting into and things, how you doing, Paul? How's it going?
Yeah, hanging in there, man. Still trying to get the week scheduled together. Tired,
Yeah,
boss.
yeah.
But
Still in the transition.
yeah. But it's working out. We had some good things went down last week, man. I'm still vibing off of the OEAs that happened. Of course,
Nice.
there was a big meeting on Monday that went down in town. So we'll definitely talk about that. We actually have special guest Sherman Wells on today.
Man,
Come and speak for himself on the
yeah, that
show.
part.
Yeah, it's going down.
So if you got your own questions, you can do the same. Speak for yourself. Chime into the chat. Let
Yeah.
your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. That's how we do over here at First Sky Omaha, man. So we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you for tuning in. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. Let's go ahead and start the show.
Oh, yeah, let's get rolling. All right then. Good morning. Once again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B,
Yeah.
Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners, thanks for joining us on this Wednesday, February 21st, 2024, for a fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning. We have special guest Sherman Wells coming on in.
Man.
And definitely looking forward to talking to him. If you guys didn't see, we posted on Friends of First Sky the meeting that happened on Monday, which
Boy.
was like, right?
I'm trying to hold back laughter. Did it happen? Did it happen? Man. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if you saw that, but we'll definitely be discussing. If you did not, it was quite the meeting. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
So yeah, very big news. Of course, this all is wrapped up with some things that have to do with that airport park that's getting ready to happen there. That coupled with all this money that just is going to the actual airport is really
man.
making me thinking about what's going to happen in North Omaha with all this airport expansion. So that's one of the stories we'll be talking about today. What else are we going to be talking about today, buddy?
Yeah, well, as mentioned again, several businesses are in jeopardy of closing. We don't know if it's going to be the final decision or if they're going to be able to make, the necessary moves to make it happen. But I definitely want to talk about that again. 39 businesses, some definitely that you might know about. So, yeah,
Mhm.
we're going to get into that. Also, continuing to look at some people already commented in the chat about what's going down with this whole North Omaha business park. We'll definitely get into that and the meeting surrounding that. Um, Also, looking forward to our conversation with Brother Sherman Wells. If you've been paying attention to any of his posts, he's been very vocal about what's going on, not just with the business park, but also with OHA housing, man. Again, mold, roaches, bed bugs is not looking good in a lot of these facilities. And Brother Sherman Wells is not letting it fall by the wayside. So I will definitely be talking to him about those activities and a lot of other things, man. He's been pretty busy, boots to the roots, if you will. So
Mhm.
definitely looking forward to that conversation. Been trying to get that brother on for quite some time. Quite some time. Also looking at what's going on with the state board of education. Of course, we've been paying attention to the OPS board with the whole superintendent move and the search, and now the selection of brother Matt Ray. But also at the state board level, it's very interesting. Half of his members are reportedly planning to depart, and there's no secession plan, especially ahead of election season. Yeah, this is something we should be looking at again with our state board of education. So we'll definitely look into that. And really, that's about it. We want to leave enough conversation, enough time for Brother Sherman Wells to again, he's been busy, so I actually want to talk to him about a lot. We'll see how much we can get into with him. But a big part of conversation was what's going on with this airport situation. A lot of angles to look at this, man. So again, let your minds be free, let your voices be heard. As always, if there's anything that we're not talking about, feel free to drop that into the chat. We're here to discuss what matters to you the most. So again, if we're missing the mark on some things, hold us accountable. Let us know.
Yep. Stephen Abraham in the chat. Good morning. Says we made it through another rotation. Good morning, Grand Rising. Appreciate you,
Yes,
bro.
yes.
Yep. Well, Gwen Easter says I check out the meeting, but Councilwoman held for homers and renters, homeowners and renters. Sherman called out Mr. Money, and some guy called out billionaires. I was eating popcorn and watching the show in the midnight hour. Okay, that's what's up.
Man.
It did feel like my stories. It felt like a soap opera going on for sure. Stephen Abraham says the mystery virus has been hitting hard because I think I saw who was in there talking about being sick. That was where's Marlon Harrison at? There he is. He said Marlon Harrison says good morning. Good morning to you. He says good morning, family. I'm in bed sick right now. The kids was coughing and sneezing all last week, and I think I caught what they had. Hashtag
Hashtag
kids
kids
be
be
dirty.
dirty.
Hashtag kids be dirty. So yeah, a couple people out today with some sickness. I guess it's tearing through. I guess we better be careful. The mystery
Mm.
virus, as Brother Abraham is saying. Woo, yeah, gotta check it out. Mr. Rome's reviews, Mr. Mayor Sanchez says hit the like button on your way in. Appreciate that very much, especially if you're on YouTube. Tony Johnson said a couple of black owned ones too. Yeah, that's why we're bringing it up.
Yeah.
Shout out
Yeah,
to the
man.
chat chimers that sent us the list, and there's an article in I believe World Herald about it. So that's kind of what we want to bring it up to. Really, is talk about because in this close knit community, we know some of the owners of these establishments. Might want to give them a call and be like, "Yo, you haven't heard. Make sure you renew your situation. We don't want the businesses going down." So yeah, that's definitely something we'll talk about. Marianne Williams gives us a good morning. Appreciate that.
Hey.
Mayor Sanchez says Coons Park had a survey on what improvements can be made. Okay. Surveys is always a good idea to get a little information on some of those things. Mark Manner says the state board is heading towards only extremists on it. Whew, the most
Mm.
extreme extremists needs to be dismantled. So maybe there's an opportunity here with the vacancies coming up. So yeah,
Man, the extreme extremists.
extremists. Brother Pena says he calls it flu vid. Yeah, that's the mystery virus
Hmm.
going on.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
combination,
that's a remix.
the remix combination of flu and and the virus. So,
Hmm.
yeah, man, I'm glad that you guys are talking about that. I'm definitely gonna put the mask on and watch where I go because I don't need to.
Yeah, yeah. It's still out there, man. A friend of mine down here just got over COVID, man. So yeah, man, it's still a thing. Still a thing.
Yep, yep.
Be careful.
Well, we appreciate everybody who's jumped in and started giving us the hellos and all the good things this morning, and we'll definitely get to.
Hello.
Oh, buddy, what you know about that Lionel Richie?
Come on, man. I can see it in your eyes.
You got you got a little bit of a Dave Chappelle kind of timbre to your voice when you're singing that kind of stuff. It cracks me up.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Marlon, here's
Not the Dave Timber.
the Dave Timber. Anthony Hart in the chat. He says, "Good morning, brothers." Okay, good
Yeah,
morning to you.
it's not a name we see too often, but I think we've seen a couple times. Welcome,
Right on.
welcome back.
Brother Harrison says, "I was confused about the restaurant list. I saw two different lists going around. Yeah, the one I pulled from World Herald was a little different than the one that I was sent. I just can't find the one I was sent. If you
Hmm.
guys send stuff to us, it'd be great if you can help us out. Send it to firstsky@gmail.com so we have a central place to
Yeah.
kind of look at everything. And of course, we look at Friends of First
Is there a
Sky.
way to like put that on the
Yeah,
bottom?
we also can send it to the Friends of First Sky Omaha page. That's the other place that we look. But most definitely put send any inquiries and information and all those things that you guys got. Do us a favor and send it to First Sky Omaha at Gmail. First Sky Omaha at gmail.com. That'd be great. Put that up so you can see that. Okay. And yeah, any information that you have on there would be best if you sent it there. I know we don't really get the chance to go through all of the Facebook messages that come through all the time. And of course, if you guys don't haven't noticed, my phone is only on sometimes. I
Man.
got I got my phone laid out to where there's only certain numbers that come through, certain times it rings, certain, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's I guess it got out of hand over the first couple of years. So I said I gotta do something about it. But yeah, best bet, please go to firstsky.omaha at gmail.com, or just go ahead and put the actual article that you're getting your information from in Friends of First Sky Omaha, and we'll check it out there.
Yeah, that helps. That helps. We kind of going through fielding questions, and we're getting stuff from everywhere: personal social media pages, company social media pages, company emails, personal emails, text messages. Yeah, messages are kind of getting a little everywhere. So yeah, if you can help us help you concentrate these things, and yeah,
That's what's up.
we'll get to it
Michelle
in a timely manner.
Michelle Wells is in the chat cracking me up. She said, "Good morning. I'm at work checking in, making sure my husband is going to be on his best behavior."
Oh,
Hey, I think as long as we let Brother Sherman ask his own questions, we'll be all
yeah,
right
yeah, yeah,
around here.
yeah. We'll be all right. We'll be all right. I don't think I got my cards. He don't need to write down no questions. He can just go ahead and say what he got to say.
You can be on screen, but you got to type your questions in the chat. We'll ask.
Text me your questions and I'll ask them
Let's
for
agree
you.
on that protocol. Mark Manner
Yeah,
says they were updating that list all day because people went in and paid. Okay, there you go. Lots of people.
yeah. Let's go ahead and get into that. Let's go
Yeah,
ahead and
yeah,
get into that, man. This is a kind of I'm looking at it as like a precautionary tale, if you
yeah.
will. Yeah. Especially again, so much money
Precautionary.
coming into the community, so many people focusing on their businesses. This is something, especially if you're getting into entertainment, food, anything dealing with food or drink. Should pay attention. This coming out of Omaha World Herald, according to the Douglas County Health Department, about 39 Omaha area businesses are facing immediate closure Tuesday. So that was yesterday afternoon due to unpaid food and drink permits. The businesses were operating without a valid permit as of yesterday afternoon due to still owing their permit fees, late fees, or a combination of both. That's according to a press release that went out from the health department last week. Again, as some of you have already said, there's been a few different versions of the list going out, and that's because, again, as business owners are becoming aware of this, they are making the mad dash to make a speedy reparation to this before losing their livelihood almost. Again, once the business pays for the permit and the late fees or whatever is associated, the health department will reschedule a reopening inspection for the business. So all is not lost. According to the health department spokesman Phil Rooney, who would definitely love to speak to. Man, shout out to Phil. Now, the fee for the reopening inspection or reinstatement is $224. So, a little bit, especially if you're struggling. The health department has been in contact with all of the businesses on the list. So, hopefully, nobody's just finding this out from the sound of my voice or the report from Omaha Road Herald. That'd definitely be scary. Again, they were sent invoices for their 2024 permits on November 1st, and payment was due on December 31st. So, there's been some time that has passed. Again, the original list consisted of 65 businesses, but again, after a mad dash down to Douglas County Health Department, that list did decline down to 39 businesses by 4:30 p.m. Again, around 67 businesses were actually facing a closure due to expired permits around this time last year. So it is something that happens. And again, I would definitely urge our local businesses to look out and use this as a precautionary tale. Make sure that we're handling business. If we're going to be in business, make sure we're handling business. As the kids say, stand on business nowadays. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, make sure we're getting that done. But as a lot of people have mentioned, there are some businesses that we might frequent or be familiar with in the community. Best Burger, Mixins, Southern Spoon. A few of our areas. Again, we don't
Yeah.
have many restaurants in our neighborhoods and in our communities. I think we would qualify for a food desert. So anytime we hear about entities closing, it's just something we should be paying attention to.
Yeah, I was going to get into some of those, and the reason why is just because this is such a tight knit community. We a lot of times we know the owners of these places, and
Mm-hmm.
it might be good to give them a call because I don't doubt that there's a lot of people that aren't being that have not kept track of this. It's already hard enough as in the business to keep track of all the regulations and the things that you got to keep track of and keep up with. I was sitting at the tax lady the other day, sitting there going,
Man.
it's just to run a business these days is something else. But on top of that, who knows about the communication or the miscommunication happening? People might have only seen that they that they forgot about that particular thing when they read it in the paper. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's worth it to try to give some of these folks a call if you know them. Like I said, I'm looking at the list right now. I'm thinking about some of the businesses that we know about in our neighborhoods, especially Best Burger. We already mentioned. Just looking down the list a little bit more. Hyde Slides, 3305 South 42nd Street. Also Mixins. We talked about Mixins already. Trishana over there. Also Soul Brothers Inc. 4849 90th Street. Southern Spoon at 3929 Ames Street. If you guys know any of these owners, let them know. There's a lot. Oh,
Yeah.
Get Down Ultra Lounge at 8509 North 30th. So yeah, man, there's a few of them in this list here. If you know anybody who is on that list, definitely give them a call and just give them a reminder and see there's also restaurants closing down. Like I said, like Ellie's is just so there's people who are having restaurants that still have some issues, some trouble sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and can't and have a hard time with that. So if you really one of your favorite restaurants is having a little struggle, you might want to invest or give them a little donation or do something to help them keep it rolling. At the very least, help them remind them that they got these permits that they got to go down and make sure that they keep up on. So that was kind of the thought behind that. But also like what you're saying, buddy, just we don't have a whole lot of them in our. We got a food desert going on. We don't need no more restaurants shutting down.
Yeah, it's a real food desert. Like where do you go? Especially North Omaha for like a burger that's not Burger King or McDonald's. Like where do you go?
I go to Cajun
If it's
Kitchen.
not Best Burger.
Right. I go to Cajun Kitchen pretty regularly. They're on the list on
Mm-hmm.
30th. Also, I've definitely been going to Southern Spoon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we got friends people that work at Southern Spoon, I believe. Uh,
Yeah, man. Shout out to my guy Stilo. Or no, I'm thinking of Best Burger. Southern Spoon.
yeah, Chef Boy Jahid. So Michelle Trostler's
Oh
son
yeah,
works over
yeah,
there. So
yeah.
yeah, we got people in the community that work at some of these spots too. Like I said, give them a call. They may have just overlooked it. So
Man. And Mark Manor is coming with an interesting comment. A nice theory.
mhm.
He says, part of me wonders if getting on this list isn't on purpose. He says people spread that list on social media like it's the hottest gossip. Lots of people are like, oh, yeah, forgot that existed.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Okay.
Well, you talking about like free promo? Is that is that free?
Let me hold off on my thing here so I can get on this list.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows, man?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But my last thought on this is, and I'll point this out. This kind of goes to the larger conversation of what's going on with LB 1024
Mhm.
and all the businesses. Just makes me think of the need of professional services. Who's what these businesses maybe like you said. There's so much that goes into owning a business. How much of an impact can accounting go or these types of things um just help a business owner, especially one that's on the cusp, kind of struggling, just making ends meet.
Yeah, it's a lot to it. That meeting that we had last a couple Mondays ago, Empowerment Network and Black Men United, and a lot of organizations put this meeting together that talked a lot about the resources that we have in our community to help. We had a couple of very serious resources there that can help make sure your business is in compliance, like Stephen Abraham's talking about. There are different ways
Hmm.
to make sure businesses are in compliance before the release of grant funds. Before it gets to the point where
Right.
we gotta dig them out, dig out businesses with money. There's resources out there that can help you make sure that your business is legit, compliant, all those things. So we're in the process of putting that kind of stuff together. I heard Willie Barney's putting a list together of those resources, and we're gonna try to help him get that word out on that. I was very amazed about how many great resources we got in North Omaha, just black businesses alone that can help you get your business legit to the next level and so on and so forth. So most definitely. Also, shout out to Julian Young Business Advisory.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
they're kind of the ones on top of my list as far as ones that can get your business from starting to $1 million business. So we got some resources out there for real.
Yeah, but not the only. He's not the only one. Again, Julian only has so many people on his team. He can't at least help
You got a good
everybody.
network. You
I
got a
mean,
good network though.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh
he's
yeah.
in.
But again, there's the point is there's resources out there for you.
Totally, totally. He's in the process of opening more offices, so he's definitely
Okay.
doing some good networking on as far as providing resources in a bunch of different areas. So yeah, man. I mean, there's a lot. You're right though. There's tons of them out there. I was kind of amazed at that meeting. Like
Mm-hmm.
as much as we're in this and talk about these things, I didn't know about half these entities, individuals, and companies, and the wealth and the breadth of just of knowledge and resources is pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you kind of think about it. Where does a business like that advertise? How does a business like that kind of get the word out? We all know how hard it is to do whatever the job is, the service, the product that you're trying to provide. Marketing itself is a full-time job. Like
Yeah,
is a lot that, especially in this climate, the social media climate, where marketing is,
everything,
man,
bro.
it's a full-time thing.
The more we dig into it, the more we realize how much marketing is the play, and
Man,
there's a whole industry around it. So it's got to be it's a necessary thing for real. Also, I'm just thinking about food business. Good Nature says I want a soul food restaurant open 24/7. That'd be nice.
man, it would be.
Brother Pena says, Paul, I need your black book of food. I
Oh
would love
yeah,
to put one of those together. Um,
you ain't got one? That's a surprise.
I got a black book of the taco joints around town, but
Okay, okay, yeah,
you
that
don't you
makes
don't got to
sense.
have a book full of where to go to a black restaurant. You know what I'm saying? We got 5 or 6 of them that are pretty prominent. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So yeah, we can use more. But I was just thinking about food in general. I got a cousin that works in the food industry. A restaurant is a tough hustle, bro.
Yeah, man.
That's a tough hustle, and you're just getting by with profits on that sometimes. So it's tough to get to the point where you got it automated, it's running, you can open up another one. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to get to that point, man. That first restaurant, any little thing happened. Look at Jim's Rib Haven. They got a little fire and was down for a year,
Man,
bro. The same
I
thing with
mean, look at yeah, I think we're on the same page about talk about the headquarters.
scooters, man. Scooters, yeah.
Yeah.
The awning gets hit on one side of the building and it's down for a year just to get that thing back up and running is I'm sure it's been pretty difficult, but yeah, one move can put you out of business in some instances. So like yeah, it's a trip.
And then, you got things like a pandemic hanging in the balance, like, hey man, yeah, yeah, you never know. You never know. So
Man.
Man, shout out to our, our business owners, especially our restaurant owners. We just talked about Ramona's and some of the struggles that they're having. You know what I mean? So let's make sure we're supporting.
Most def. I just want to mention it's 7:30 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, if you're just joining us, this is First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the
We're
morning.
on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 to 9. My name is Paul B. We got Buddi3 Da Gawd in the other box right there. And
Hey.
of course, all of you, the chat chimers, all of you, the ghost listeners, and all of you, the radio listeners. We appreciate everybody joining us today. We have special guest
Thank you.
Sherman Wells coming on in a few, so stay tuned, hang out for him. And in the meantime, between time, we're kind of discussing this situation about some of the restaurants that got on this list. And the food desert that we live in, especially in our neighborhoods, if you know anybody on this list, definitely give them a call and remind them that they have this thing coming up. They need to make sure they're in compliance so they can continue to do
Mm.
business. Amy H. Dot says any little thing happens, even a week being closed due to a blizzard, that can be a killer.
Yeah.
We've heard that a couple times for a couple restaurants. Yep, came back after that blizzard and was like, "Yo, that blizzard knocked us out. Please come and support." So
Yeah, man.
yeah, but and
Yeah.
it takes a lot of people. Don't take just one or two meals. You gotta we gotta spread the word and get as many people in some of these places as we can. So shout out to them for being in contact and letting us know that they're in a little bit of trouble. We can do what we can do for it. It doesn't always happen, doesn't always work, but we can try. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, you think of families passing like with,
With the timeout.
Time Out, Naughty Buddha Burger. Shout out to these restaurants. Shout out to these families that's keeping these staples open.
Man, so true, so true. Let's thanks for all your comments. Let's move on to the next subject before we have our guest come on through. Buddy, what's on your mind today?
Man, I actually want to get into this airport
Yeah.
conversation. Speaking of support, speaking of supporting businesses and things like that, man, it'd be nice for some businesses to be able to support, get a little piece of this pie that's coming towards the airport. If you haven't heard, a lot of changes going on around Carter Lake, man. Not just the airport business park, which we'll definitely get into here in a second, but the airport itself will be expanding, will be growing. Of course, some of you have seen what's going on with the new garage, the fancy new garage, and some changes have already been happening to the airport. Yeah, Paul, I see your face. They got a new garage,
Yeah.
man. It looks nice.
Yeah.
Looks
I,
nice.
I explored it all when I went down there, tried to get on the plane and got lost and saw the whole garage.
See? That part, they got a whole new wing. I don't know if you like rented a car at the airport recently, but they got a whole new wing for car rentals. It actually looks a lot like what's going on down here in Atlanta, which again is what I think about when I see this project. Let's go ahead and dive into it, get into some of the numbers. Again, this coming out of the Omaha World Herald. Turning of 10 shovels of dirt at the Epley Airfield tarmac on Tuesday marked the ceremonial start of the airport's huge $950 million expansion project. Governor Jim Pillen, Senators Deb Fisher and Pete Ricketts, and Representative Don Bacon were all in attendance alongside Mayor Gene Stothert, who again joined the leaders of the Omaha Airport Authority, donning hard hats and grinning for cameras as again the whole photo op went down, and of course the money is coming down as well. Again, this is really historic, fantastic day according to former Governor Ricketts. When the project is finished in 2028, the spot where they stood Tuesday will be directly under Epley's new Central Pavilion, which will be a large area where future passengers will pass through security and stop to eat on the way to the new single concourse, which is expected to add a few more hubs for airplanes. So again, that's expected to increase to about 22 gates with larger waiting areas, more cell phone charging ports, expanded food shopping options behind the security area, kind of likened to some of the shopping areas that you might see at larger, more international airports. Again, there will actually be two gates capable of accommodating international flights connected to a customs arrival area. Again, new elevators, escalators, baggage screens. I mean, it's all going to be completely different. Our little old Epley Airfield will, not look the same, man. And these features are in addition to the new garages and rental car areas, as I just mentioned. But of course, this always means for us, what does that mean for North Omaha? What does that mean specifically? I'm thinking of construction companies, contractors in North Omaha. Again, but before we get into the contractors in the financial area, just let's look at the overall growth of the area. Of course, downtown. Paul and I were kind of talking about it before the show. You think about the riverfront. The Luminarium, Steel House, Gallup campus is changing.
Mm,
The Conagra Food campus is getting redone. The new amphitheater downtown. There's a lot of things going on in the downtown area,
right.
and now with some of that moving north with LB 1024 and the business park and the airport, it's kind of ripe for gentrification if that's what some people were thinking. So we definitely have to keep in mind the changes happening in our community and how some individuals might be looking at it as a cash cow.
There's a whole soccer field that's getting ready to be built in between airport and
Man,
downtown that just got talked
forgot
about.
about
Yeah,
that.
hundreds of millions of dollars. And of course, the thing that we're going to be talking about when Brother Sherman Wells comes on, the airport park, and what that means. It's all around the same area. And like I said, this is prime. It's always been prime real estate. They've been after everybody's houses and stuff this whole time. You can't help but go there with that. If this is getting ready to turn into a real lucrative area, even more so than it already is. What does it mean for North Omaha folks? What does it mean for North Omaha? It could mean good things. It could be a
Hmm.
boost in
Hmm.
business. For instance, people are coming down. You start putting more money in the area. People start coming down, and now businesses are getting boosted. So you might get restaurants, more restaurants, or restaurants that are there already, just getting more business.
Yep.
The property values going up. Some people do want to move and they want to sell. We don't encourage it, but some people do. So they might be able to get more money for their homes. And
Hmm.
just the fact that it's an international airport to me, that whole area is about to get real kind of metropolitan city. Like I always fancy myself as like a citizen of international cities like L.A., New York,
Hmm.
Hawaii. And I
Atlanta.
and I always see this huge difference between like how things are in Denver or how things are in L.A. as compared to how things are in Omaha. It's a very small airport. Um, it's a very it's there's no international flights. Uh, so you got to go to a hub if you want to go somewhere international. If you want to go to a bigger city, you got to do a layover in Denver first, which means that your tickets are going to be more expensive. Tickets are generally less expensive if you live in a place where there's a hub. So
Hmm.
that's why Denver can you can get a ticket out of Denver and go to California for $40 sometimes. So
Man.
yeah, it's one of those things. So it might be something that really helps us out. I know that they were talking on the groundbreaking about these flights going direct to Mexico, direct to Cancun. You know what I'm saying? They're
Hmm.
going to be able to have international flights some of these international airlines are already looking at those pathways as the new pathways for what happens here. So it's just it's an upgrade as far as airports are concerned, which upgrades the city in general. But
Yeah.
now I've been here long enough now to be like, my first thought was, what's this mean for North Omaha? You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Like, how many of us got to go because they're getting ready to make all these changes. So, what say you? We put that out there to the chat. Of course, there's a lot of people in our community that got a lot to say about a lot of these things. One of them is coming up. Can't stress enough. Stay tuned. We want to hear from Brother Wells in a real way. But this has been an ongoing conversation in a bunch of different ways. Let us know though what you think. Put that in the chat, and of course, continue the conversation on Friends of First Sky Omaha when we're not live. That's one of those things we got to kind of talk about this and keep track of what's really happening here in our neighborhoods according to this airport news.
Yeah, yeah. Brother Tony Johnson is asking, is that area a part of a neighborhood association?
Good question.
And actually, if you caught the video that's on Friends of the meeting, which we've been talking about with Councilwoman Juanita Johnson, that video was streamed by the Levi Carter Neighborhood Association. So, yeah, there's definitely a neighborhood associate. That's kind of been one of the main organizations that's been kicking up a lot of dust and making some noise about this whole airport park situation and just the development in general that's going on around the airport park. Because remember, it's not just the business park, but there's going to be some sports facilities, and
Mhm.
I think Councilwoman Juanita Johnson called it the multi-purpose community center, the MCC, which is supposed to be going down at the what we now know as Carter Lake Park. Where
Mm,
a lot of people, the Stone Cold picnics used to go down at. That area is getting a facelift as well. So
right.
yeah, what does that mean for the houses that's right there? Luckily, they are banding together as a neighborhood association, which is kind of a perfect case study. Like we've been urging y'all, if you're not a part of a neighborhood association, get a part of it, because you see kind of the power, you see what it means when you can organize at that level, and what it means, like how you can move, how you what it looks like in real time. So big shout out to them.
Yeah, man. I was thinking about that the president of that neighborhood association in that meeting said,
Yep.
My house is ground zero. So we
Yep.
need to know what's happening." So
I'm gonna be the first to go.
Black Dynamite in the chat, what's going on, Black Dynamite? He said, the
Hey.
thing I don't understand is that they want to build a stadium on the Gallup campus, but closed a bar that doubled as a music venue on the riverfront, and Epley had an Air Canada flight for a while. Okay.
Hmm.
Some other details about the situation. That whole area is going to change drastically.
Yeah,
We
man.
know that the north downtown area, when I'm thinking about over there, where they're trying to call it like Makers, whatever they're trying to rebrand it,
Oh, Makers Village or something
Makers
like that.
Alley or whatever they got going on.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
thinking down
yeah.
there where Hot Shops is at, and of course where Weberized is at over there at the Mastercraft building. A couple streets over from the homeless shelter, basically, is what we're talking about.
Man.
There's apartment complexes and things that are going up there that are already 1.5 times the high rents that are there. So if you're paying $1,000, $1,100 for a one bedroom in other parts of town, these are starting at $1,700 for one bedrooms, and those are the
Yep.
new apartments that are going up over there. So
Yeah.
yeah, interesting stuff indeed.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It just it's kind of a pivotal moment. I see our guest is coming in here in a second, so definitely get ready for that.
Hmm.
But just thinking of the it could go either way. Like we talk about the gentrification, but also drawing the comparison to Atlanta, Hartsfield Jackson Airport, which again is the airport here in Atlanta. When that grew, I believe 30% of the contractors was set to be minority based contractors, and from that, again, the whole economic boom happened here in Atlanta, and now we see kind of what it is now as far as just the economic um, community, the economic landscape of Atlanta. Again, a big part of that was the airport.
Yeah, except Atlanta got a whole lot more black folks than we got here. A whole lot more people that chimed up over making sure things are going to be equitable. And we got a pretty bad history of being left out of a whole bunch of stuff that has to do with our neighborhood. So
Yeah, yeah,
it's
that's true.
Atlanta is the model, is the ideal. That's like, man, I wish it can go that way.
Yeah,
But I have a
it,
feeling.
it definitely well, it was the mayor. To your point, it was the mayor that kind of pushed that. Mayor Maynard Jackson, yeah, who the airport is named after, is the one that kind of spearheaded that. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So anyway, it's just interesting all the way around. Kimber Snipes in the chat. Tony. First of all, Tony Johnson says they should consider lawsuit. Others have done it in other states for similar situations. We talked about
Hmm.
it. Kimber Snipes in the chat. Good morning. He says last night I went to Strong Towns meeting. President of Levi Sherman is a part of the group. This was the primary topic. Wanda
Okay.
Lewis says last year the neighborhood association itself was turned down for development at city council. Interesting.
Hmm.
Good information. Said the Levi Carter Sherman Neighborhood Association, that is. Turned down.
Yep.
Kimber Snipes says Joe Higgins, the president, is preparing his house to seek. He's ready to retire. He's expressed concern for the renters that make up 72% of the area. Yeah, he said, Joe
Yep.
Higgins said that in the meeting yesterday, too. He said, he was like, I'm old. I'm trying to retire. I'm trying to sell and go ahead and get out. But I care about everybody else. So it's interesting. Waddon Lewis says possibly because the airport park wanted first choice and knew what was coming. Yep.
Hmm.
Tony Johnson says Atlanta already had black businesses in place for those jobs to meet demand. Omaha does not. Right. Omaha don't have black
Yep.
businesses.
Contractors.
Yeah. A mayor that is on some other is not, not necessarily for us in the area. Feels like to me. So anyway, yeah, there's a lot here for sure. But I appreciate everybody's comment on this. This is definitely gonna be one of those ongoing topics here because of how close everybody is to, if we're talking about the north side, especially, a lot of times we talk about the east side, north and south. There's definitely gonna be some changes in south, but not like there's gonna be some changes in north when it comes to this airport park situation.
Man.
Not just the airport park, but
Facelift.
the facelift of the airport, the stadium, everything that's going on. So yeah, we'll definitely keep on talking about it. I know it, Black Dynamite. We need Keisha Lance Bottoms over here for real.
Man,
Tell her,
Miss Keisha.
tell her to come from run for mayor. We'll be the campaign the
All
campaign
right.
team for that. Hey, we'll take a quick break and come back. We got our guest waiting in the wings, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be Sherman Wells from Untamed. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd. All of you Chad Chalmers Ghost listeners, radio listeners, stay tuned, y'all. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd. And ladies and gentlemen, our guest today, the incomparable Sherman Wells from Untamed in the building. What's going on, my brother?
Hey.
Hey, how y'all doing today, bro?
Hey, doing good, man. Doing good. Good to see you, man.
Man.
You got the background going on. That's what's up.
Oh yeah, yeah. Man, thanks for having me on this morning. I've been hiding out, man.
I can't tell, man. I see you everywhere, man. You been working.
That day, we actually had a story that we did on Channel 6 that same day for OHA.
Right.
And
Mhm.
me and Kasim and a few other people had met down there to voice some concerns of the people, and I was not expecting that other story to be on another channel.
He's
So on
all
one
over.
channel, I'm advocating for the people, and then on the other channel, I'm looking, you know.
Oh well, we appreciate, man. Everybody didn't get a chance to take a look at that what happened at that meeting, which is kind of the news. We definitely we had it that neighborhood association streamed it, so we put that on Friends of First Sky Omaha. So we was kind of right there when it was going down, and then
Man.
I was surprised the next day to get up and see several articles in several different places about it.
Yeah.
People had a lot to say. So first of all, you were there. Give us a little rundown of what that meeting was there for, what happened, and all of that, if you would.
Man, so I actually came like a civil citizen. I had my questions on my phone. I was going to ask them politely and but the moment I walked in, they said, any questions you have, you need to submit them to somebody in the back room that's going to ask your questions. And I'm like, that's the start of the malarkey.
Right.
So now somebody got to ask my question for me. Okay, I'm okay. Okay. So I'm thinking, all right. But then she was like, well, if they get to it, they will. And if they don't, then we'll try to basically email you or somewhere, get to your question somehow, some way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting there and I'm listening. And when Mike Maroney and Heath Mello, they started talking about why Mike Maroney got the contract to be the developer. And he was like, yeah, he's been developing in North Omaha for some time. And he basically, so he want to stand on, yeah, I've been developing in North Omaha since 1977. And so at that time, I put my jacket on. I told Penn, I can't take this, bro. I'm about to leave, man. And he like, man, just wait, because we didn't even know each other was going to be there. Like Kimra, Penn, a few people. And then once he got to that part, and then Heath Mello co-signed it, and then Juanita want to move on, and you got people wanting to ask questions. I just couldn't take it no more, bro. It was the spirit. It wasn't even me. I mean, I literally, it just something was in me burning. Like I was born in '76, So if you've been developing since 77, why is North Omaha still the only district that don't have a business district where we have a circulation of our dollars? And I've actually been working on that every weekend, going to these different districts, filming it because I wanted to show the comparison of a Saturday in our community and
Mhm.
Saturdays in other people's communities. And
Ooh,
it's
Mm-hmm.
terrible, bro.
right.
So yeah, once he said that, that was pretty much it for me. Yeah.
Yeah, Buddy had me cracking up because the way that the neighborhood association live streamed that. By the way, for those you don't know, First Sky Omaha is we're moving in the direction of following the Sherman Wells footsteps. We're out and about and trying and building crews in order to be able to do some live streaming and really like get across what's going on in some of these meetings because this particular live stream had us cracking up.
Man.
Everybody on the mic. You can barely hear anybody. This is for all of us watching. You can barely hear anybody talking. And then all of a sudden,
I can't take this no more.
and you standing right by the camera too. So I can't. So it got real loud. Buddy said he almost woke the kids up. He had to jump and turn it down real fast. Bro,
Man.
we was cracking up.
It was bad enough when I walked in. Brother Mike looked like he seen a ghost because I made that post about him and changed his head to Uncle Ruckus. I kind
Mm.
of been on his neck a little bit, and we done had private meetings, me and him.
Oh yeah.
Um, and in the private meeting where I was just questioning why don't we have these businesses, and I know OEDC owned a lot of those buildings on the dudes, and he
Right.
basically, this dude ain't got no soul. He just was like, well,
Mm.
I've dealt with so many people, and I just don't think that nobody's competent to own a business in 24th Street. I mean, on 24th Street, that's in North Omaha.
Wow.
Everybody, he basically was saying, don't have business plans. They can't get their stuff together, and he's tried, and so he's like, well, and I've had these buildings since 77, and I'm fine with that. Even if I died today, he said he wouldn't have no regrets on what he's done in North Omaha. And
Mm.
our conversation then kind of made a left because that means you're disconnected if you think nobody can run businesses. And so
Man.
he asked me, since I have so many ideas, what do I think should happen right now in order for the business district to boom? And I said, well, in all reality, we need a few people to die because they're in the way. And he was shook, but I said, I'm just joking with you. But I said that to say that y'all basically blocking us from being great by having these buildings where you can't own them. All you can do is lease. And the majority of them need so much work that as a new business, you have to come in with money to renovate and start your operation. It's
Right.
nearly impossible. So that's why there's no businesses down there. And I mean, I don't know, bro. It just came across as the same old song and dance. And we warned them since 2020 that we're done playing games and that North Omaha has so many voices and so many leaders. And I wouldn't even say leaders, just voices and concerned citizens that we just not tolerating the same old games no more.
Mm. I hear that. I wish there was a better way to engage because I've had several conversations with Brother Maroney too, and I'm sitting here thinking about for the longest time, I didn't really realize that OEDC was a nonprofit organization.
Yes, sir.
That's
Man.
new news to me as of the last month or so, which is surprising. So this whole time, I really felt like it's a development company. It's their job to kind of like acquire some properties. Wait until these properties are pretty profitable, either sell or be in the market. Makes sense to me on a for-profit level. But a nonprofit organization might need to do a little bit more with the community than is actually being done. And like you said, before I was given the benefit of the doubt, like he doesn't, he's a businessman. He doesn't have to be in the business of training people on how to run business and so on and so forth. But this is the economic development company that's a nonprofit organization that probably ought to be doing that, not just sitting on the properties renting them out. So so anyway, yeah, I can totally understand that. And really, when you think about how many properties is owned by OEDC in the neighborhood, that's definitely something to be concerned about. It's almost like either Susie Buffett owns the buildings, or Land Bank got some things sprinkled around here and there, or OEDC owns the stuff. I don't even know about any other.
Mhm.
I mean, there might be a couple private here and there that I don't know about, but like as far as the majority of properties around, especially in in districts that you can call like the business districts, that could be made from those areas. Yeah, it's interesting what's actually happening there. A lot of nonprofit organizations getting spaces, and what else, you know?
Yeah. And then, as I'm leaving, I hear people clapping. And so I'm like, okay, that didn't go. I mean, I didn't have a plan to do it. So I'm thinking maybe those people were happy that somebody spoke up because they all was mumbling stuff, but nobody would say nothing. And then as I'm leaving,
Mm.
a sister followed me out there talking about security, security, or we need the police or something for this dude.
Oh,
And I turned around and said, I'm leaving. You don't need to call the police or security on me. And then next thing I know, here come Kimra right behind her, like, no, you're not gonna call the police on me.
hey, shout out, Kimber.
Mm.
Yeah,
She was
Man,
right there. I swear she
our own
turned around,
Keisha.
I turned around and the sister was there. She followed me to the door, made sure I got to my car, and I appreciate that and I respect that. I was in my moment. I felt my ancestors come through my soul, and they said, "Hey, man,
Mm.
we can't allow this kind of malarkey anymore, the lies anymore." And the spirit of Vivian Strong came through my blood. Like, no,
Okay.
we cannot do this. Her death is what tore it down, and our life is going to be what rebuilds it, man. We
Mm.
cannot continue to not act like we don't see that in order for us to have a good time or want to go somewhere and spend our money, that we have to go to these outside entities. Take your wife walking down Dundee, the old market, but you can't go through your own community.
mm,
I get a 16-year-old that's ready to get his first job. He can't go to the community that he lives in to get a job. He got to hop on a bus and go out west. You
right.
know, and then when you look at OEDC website, the partners that's listed on there, a lot of them is associated with Susie Buffett. So it's like it kind of explains the suppression. And then when you look at it overall, it's been happening since '69. So now, what are we talking about? Is this on purpose to keep us suppressed in this begging mind state? Because 6811 done became the begging zip code, where we have to
Mm.
nonprofits and beg for dollars in order to operate. Where if we got our own businesses, knowing how creative that we are, and if all that money actually went to businesses like it should have, we're such a creator, we would have worked our way out. Then you stop begging, and then people get a voice because we don't have to watch our words because we got our own money. So that's
Mm-hmm.
that's the overall thing, and it's not just North Omaha. In every Black community around the United States, this is what's happening. And so
Mm-hmm.
when you talk about the hood, for me, I look at the hood as in every city we actually have a base where we should be able to go city to city and enjoy the Black people's commerce and food and the things that they have. And you already know what's going to be popping when you go to the city because that's where the hood is. But
Yeah,
it's so agendas right now, man.
it's,
Until Black people stop begging and work for themselves and do for themselves, then we'll be in the same situation. And that's why you talk about me and Brother Kasim, man, from the moment we met, it's been that because the spirit of the mission is the same um, when it comes to that. So,
yeah. With that, I'm gonna jump into the chat real quick, buddy. I know you got some questions. I'm gonna just read off a few, and then you can jump in. First of all, Kimber is
Mm-hmm.
in the chat saying, "Good morning, brother Sherman." She said a little bit later on, it was the people who look like me demanding police be called that did it for me.
yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of understood. I was looking around from what I can see on the live stream. I did see a lot of white folks sitting in there that was probably from the area, and they was all clapping and stuff when you and brother Shabazz was speaking up. So I found it kind of disheartening. I did kind of hear after you left. I kind of heard like there was something that happened and Sherman left. Is what we saw on the thing,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't. You can tell from everybody that the camera was focused on. They didn't like that. They didn't like that there was some disruption happening there. Wasn't like he went in there and souped the joint, turned the tables over, and threw people through the windows or nothing. So why call why call the police? I don't.
right.
Man.
I
They
mean,
don't like.
that's what Jesus did when they was in that place of worship doing stuff he didn't like. He came in there flipping tables. I didn't even go
All
that far,
They
you
called
know.
the police,
right.
but they called the police on him too. So. Real quick, Tony Johnson said, "Can North Omaha be revived by small businesses that only cater to small economic demographic? 1,500 new jobs will require 500 plus new businesses using this logic." That's a good one to be thinking about. Brother Kasim in the chat, good morning, says, "Done playing games, yes sir." I hear that.
Mm.
Brother Jahi Shabazz in the chat saying, "OEDC and Canopy nonprofits are used by billionaires to keep this community poor, so they can buy up everything pennies on the dollar." We definitely
Man.
on that. Gwen Easter said you had your own personal bodyguard, Sherman. That's right. Kimra. Shout out to Kimra. Wanda Lewis says, "I wonder what Pillin was thinking when he was here to walk in the MLK parade. I was hoping he would have some sympathy." Interesting. Anthony
Mhm.
Rogers Wright in the chat. Good morning. And for those you don't know, he's on the campaign with Dr. Cornell West. Cornell West for president 2024. He says it all starts and ends with the banks. If they are not our banks, we don't have actual control over our money. They do. We need public banking stat. Okay.
Right.
Man.
Yeah, lots of good comments here. I really appreciate everybody coming in there. Stephen Abraham says we need an economic district and entertainment district. We also could use a
Mhm.
historical district, as far as I'm concerned, which the Deuce could be.
Yeah.
Jahi Shabazz says Justin Wayne was at the meeting being an advocate and supporter for ORDC in Burlington Capital, and he set up the deal via Ben Gray for the billionaires. Okay. Hmm. We'll have to get back on that one. Uh,
And I do want to address what Tony said. He said the
please do.
small business is going to cater, but how does a business grow if it don't start off small? I'm not saying they're going to stay small, but
Right.
how do they ever grow if they can't get a start? I mean, and then all of the black businesses are scattered around Omaha,
Right.
where we could be in
Mhm.
one central location circulating our dollars. Because let's not pretend that black people ain't the backbone of the growth of money in the United States. We the spenders. And not it's a good and a bad thing because we don't save money
Yeah.
when we want something, we buying it. And
Right.
but that's how the United States grow with our mindset of spending, spending, spending because that's what we want. So in order for it to start, we got to start somewhere, man. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, what's the alternative?
there is none.
Yeah.
And when
Exactly.
you think about it, with us being the creators that we are, there are so many things put in place to take us away from our greatness. And so when you
Mhm.
start talking about the laws that back then where two or more black people was a threat, that's because when we got together, they couldn't know what we was thinking. They didn't know what we was going to create. So that's why it's important to reestablish the families because you got families living together, creating together. Um,
Yeah.
the more black minds, the more creation, and so they know that because they've studied us 1,000%, and they've studied some of the
Mhm.
things we built when we were together that they still can't figure out to this day how. So there had to be an agenda formed to keep us separated. There had to be an agenda formed to keep us into a different mission. So the whole gang and all the stuff that we spend our time doing takes us away from the greatness that we was created for and why we got this melanation to begin with.
Yeah.
That is the source of our power. So
803
There you
right
go.
now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're sitting here with Brother Sherman Wells from Untamed, one of the biggest advocates right now. I don't know if you guys use that word. We stepping away from advocacy. What's the word we using now these days?
I'm
Uh,
just man, I don't know. Whatever people call me, I just accept it. But long
he's
as you
just
don't call me late for
Hey.
he's just a brother man Sherman Wells
Sherman will.
out here doing the good work. If you got questions for him, please put them in the chat, buddy. I know you said you got a few things you want to get with him on. We definitely have a few more things to talk about besides this meeting. The meeting was the hot topic,
Mhm.
but what's on top of mind with you, bud?
Well, first of all, I actually because from the outburst I was listening, I don't think you actually got your question asked. I'm kind of wondering, like, what were your concerns? What was even your question?
Well, so the question that I did ask him is, when he was talking about how he developed, I asked him why don't we have a business district for one, and then that $400,000. Why didn't you like the community inclusion in that part? Like, why don't you want no community oversight? Really was my question because
Hmm.
there was
Mhm.
supposed to be like a board or something. I know they voted against it, like Mike Maroney and his people. They
Hmm.
didn't want a community to oversight the money. And then
Mhm.
my other question was going to be, how do y'all plan, or do you have a plan in writing to bring in black contractors, and how do you plan on siphoning some of this money back into the black community? Uh, but yeah, I never got to those proper questions because once they told me I couldn't ask my own questions, I knew that it was going to be picking and choosing on the questions. So I was told after I left, the lady who was reading the questions was kind of, reading partial questions. But then at the end,
Mm-hmm.
she said that people told me after I left, the people got their own voice and they started asking their own questions.
They did.
Well, one of the people that was there was Brother Shabazz, who's in the chat. We definitely would
Yes.
like
Yep.
to invite you to come on Friday, bro, so we can hear your side of what was said as well. You had a lot to say towards the end, as a matter of fact. So, right now, while we got Brother Wells on, we're talking to him, but we'd love to have Brother Shabazz on if you're still in the chat. Come through, and we'll talk to you on Friday, and we can continue the conversation about that that meeting, that really
Yeah.
interesting meeting.
Yeah.
Other
I mean,
than
when
that,
you talk
mhm.
about community oversight and getting $400,000 and not including the community in the discussion, I mean, it just sounds sneaky, bro. I don't know.
I hear you.
Right. 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 So we'll definitely keep our eyes on this situation. I'm sure you will as well. We definitely appreciate you for speaking up and inspiring the people. As you see, after you left, as Paul says, some people started to speak up. Yeah, definitely appreciate you. But yeah, that's not the only thing you're speaking up about. While we got you here, I definitely wanted to dive into what's going on with OHA. Again, we played some soundbite of you in city council about a week or so ago, calling out some people, calling out some folk. But what, you're ground zero. Your boots on the roots. You're putting out some footage, letting the people know what's going on. So from your perspective, what's really happening in the towers?
Man, what's really happening is the community that lives in the towers are afraid. They're afraid to
Mm,
voice their opinions. They have late fees on top of late fees, or small things going on, so they don't want to jeopardize their housing. So I can talk to any of them and go into any tower because I have access through my large family, dozens of cousins. Shout out to y'all,
Hey,
and different family members that live in each tower. So I'm able to visit any tower I want, but the same thing is true to each one. Even though they have issues, um, they are afraid to go on camera and voice it, and then the system of reporting the issues. Okay, so let's get back to the work orders. The work
mm,
orders go in with no OHA or no city oversight, and it goes right back to, with no HUD or oversight and no city oversight. So it goes right back to OHA. So that'll mean, like, if I'm complaining about First Guy and then First Guy get the complaint, like, who else? But somebody else is funding First Guy, so those people never get the complaints. And so
mm.
then when you see people at city council saying, "Well, there's no complaints on record with the city," yeah, that's because all the complaints are filtered back to OHA, and the people don't even know how to get a real
mhm.
complaint out. It's just a game, and so the work orders are not overlooked. Nobody's filtering through the complaints or nothing, and it's just going right back to the same entity who's monitoring themselves, and they cancel work orders like it ain't nothing, man.
Mm.
And so now you got these OHA don't have. I think they have probably about two or three people that spray for pesticides with all these towers, bro.
Mm.
They're not investing the money in it. And then, from what I'm told, that they are actually asking the pesticide people when they go in to spray to try to take pictures of the people's places, uh, which is a violation of privacy. But it's about them trying to create a narrative that the reason why there's bugs is because they're living dirty type stuff. And it's something I'm sure they won't
Mm.
broadcast, but I have the paperwork, and they won't broadcast it, but it'll be something they use in their meetings to say or justify the stuff that we're bringing up. So it's like, okay, well, they might be talking about these bed bugs and stuff, but look how they're living. But then you got to remember, you're dealing with people that have, some of them have mental issues, or old or elderly. What resources are we providing to these towers, these people in these towers? But what resources want to come in there when you walk in and you better wear all white so you can see the bugs getting on you? You know what I mean?
Ooh,
Man.
man.
I go in there in a white t-shirt with no jacket, so that way if it get on me, I can get it off. And when I come out, I can check myself, because this is the type of conditions that they're dealing with, and it's normalized because since I've been a kid, the tower's been like that. My mother lived in
Hmm.
towers probably for about 20 years, from Evans to Jackson, in Florence, and I just right now, if we don't hold them accountable, and I don't know if y'all seen what happened in New York, where they indicted like 70 to 80 people in New York in their housing authority for taking kickbacks and different contracts and the way they was working about it. I believe that
Mm.
something like that needs to happen here, where the Department of Justice needs to come in, because if OHA is a part of the federal government, why are they not investigating their own, what they're funding? So, but then
Mm.
don't know, bro. It's so many games being played with OHA. But what we're doing is we're spreading it out. It's a lot of people talking about it. Shout out to John
Mhm.
Chapman, Chris Burbach with Omaha World Herald, Kaylee Cersei with Channel 7. It's a network of people, and we're going to continue until we get what we want, which is an outside inspector. Come in and check each one of these buildings. Let's assess each building and see what we need to do to bring it up to standard for people living there. Affordable housing shouldn't mean living slummy, So
So
Yeah,
true. So
yeah.
true. Well, we
Too
appreciate
often that's the case.
appreciate all your efforts, man. Just bringing some awareness, and not just bringing some awareness, but calling folks out, calling folks out.
Yeah, man.
This has been an ongoing thing. We had some last season. We had a couple of chat chimers that went in and talked to some folks about this. I think one of our chat chimers even got a hold of somebody at OHA and was in a little bit of communication. We never really got to follow up on what happened with that communication, but this is something that's kind of ongoing. Somebody to talk to there. Years ago, before we was even, I think it was in my old days. I think we were in talks with the Omaha Housing Authority because of one of the towers that the antenna was on. So we this has been a thing, and every time I haven't seen any progress yet. That's what I was trying to get to with that comment. I haven't seen.
Man, that point.
and it's crazy that you still hear the same complaints. The guy who did come out and talk to John, he didn't go on camera, but he said for the last 6 months his heat ain't been working. I had a woman
Yeah.
who I had to advocate for her during that storm. Her heat wasn't working and she didn't have no hot water. But it wasn't until I complained for her, then the next day they out there fixing it. But
Mm,
why did it take
Mm.
for me to get involved? Why y'all not listening to these people?
yeah,
I don't
Right.
know, man.
power thing.
Right.
They like people. First of all, how many people even complain? For fear of retaliation. If you're in the tower, where you gonna go if you get kicked out of the tower over complaining about something? So that's
Yeah,
why it's important for people like you and us to keep our eye from the outside. Talk to people on the inside so we can kind of make some noise on the outside for them sometime, because it's
yes,
tough
sir.
to speak up. Yeah, tonight Patterson said is a echoing that, said back in the day I didn't have heat during February for a whole month while living in housing.
Mm.
I finally threatened to go to the news, and suddenly the parts were procured.
Oh yeah, magically.
Wow.
Poof.
All of a sudden,
Yeah,
heat.
Yeah, right. And
yeah.
that's crazy, some of the excuses though, because like even if people are living dirty, how does that what who's responsible for the mold in the hallway? Or dripping down the walls, in the basement. Like
Man,
that's broken elevators. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Um, in the video clip we played, you were calling out Omaha City Council, which, as reported by WOW teaches the article we pulled. The OHA board is contracted through the city. The
Yeah.
board is appointed by the mayor and confirmed by city council. To
Absolutely.
what extent have you heard anything from city council or the mayor's office as far as holding
Um,
OHA accountable?
After that last appointment, when I told Joni her nose was gone, I mean, no, or not Joni, but when I was telling them about the reappointing David,
Mm-hmm.
then I did have a meeting with Don Rowe, and he talked about it because Kaylee's story came out. So him, Don Rowe, Pete Festerson, and Danny Bagley supposedly, well, they told me they were going to have a meeting with OHA to try to get to the bottom of it. So I don't know the results of that meeting yet, because then right after that, that whole ordinance thing happened. And
Mm-hmm.
me and brother Don, I don't know what that is. Hold on. Sorry about that. Somebody
was
was
it
trying to call me on Messenger.
outer space? Put you in outer space for a
Man,
minute.
man.
Yeah, somebody was trying to call me on Messenger, but you still do y'all hear that ringing?
Yeah, yeah.
We,
No,
we,
I don't hear any
Oh,
echoes.
okay. So yeah, after that meeting with him, I don't know for sure how the meeting went with Pete and Danny and OHA. I do know that uh, Paul is going to be outside of Underwood starting this week, uh,
Filming.
filming. Yep, and he'll be outside, doing his camp out stuff that he do.
Shout out
Um,
to Paul
and
Filming.
that's going to bring some more attention to it and create a whole new story. So, like I said, it's a lot of people stepping forward to take on this for the residents. You know,
Whatever you got going on there is kind of blocking your vocal out every time it happens. So
there
yeah,
you
I'm
go.
not okay.
Can
Cool,
you
cool,
hear me
cool. Yeah, yeah, we got you.
now? Okay. Yeah, somebody was trying to call me on Messenger.
What it wasn't Mir Stother, was it?
Let me see. I don't know who it is.
You might have to three-way up with the. Go ahead and bring her in on this conversation.
Patch her in.
Uh
Oh, it's actually Amy Melton. Oh man, could you give
oh.
me a call tomorrow about OHA?
There you go. They might be
As we
watching.
speak,
They might be watching.
Yep,
as we
that's
speak.
actually who that is. Okay, dang.
There you
Yeah,
go. Man, live updates. Okay, here we go.
can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah.
There was something. Somebody said something in the chat about the maintenance
Why would you
of.
try to call me on Messenger?
You got your phone number?
No. Well, she did leave me hers. I just seen, so
There you go.
I'll call her after I get off this call.
That's right, man. We
Okay.
can't wait to hear the
Okay.
update on that. That's what's up.
Yeah, let us know.
Just wanted to mention somebody in the chat was saying that even when they go to spray the pesticides in the buildings, that people don't have to leave the house. Anthony Rogers Rice says black people should not be using pesticides or spraying them on our own people. It's interesting they keep on saying that they want to if they're really trying to catch folks living dirty as they try to say. That's every apartment complex everywhere, bro. I live in one where I'm paying $1,100 for a one bedroom, and you want to talk about college kids and folks being dirty in their own apartments with
Yeah.
and the dogs in the little one bedrooms with them dirtying up you know what I'm saying? Like this is all over the place. The building though takes care of things. They
Hmm.
tell us when they're gonna come spray. They tell us when they're gonna do some things. So, it just to me it just goes to like what the how they're treating folks that
Yeah,
are of
and
low income.
the access of the day room. So if the people do want to leave their apartment, the day room is not sanitary to even sit down there. And so when I walked
Mm-hmm.
in Florence and heard what I thought was a waterfall, the day room was flooded. There's moldy
Mm.
down there. So where are they supposed to go? Where you got elders who don't, most of them don't drive. They can't just get up and leave for the day. So if they wanted to go sit
Mm-hmm.
in the day room for a few hours and watch TV or something, that's impossible.
Mm.
So
Lots being said here. Really appreciate everybody who's jumping in. Kimmer Snipes says, Sherman, have you heard anything else about the Evans Tower? My dad lives there, and he has said that he hasn't had any problem since he moved apartments. Anything
yeah,
about the Evans?
actually, let me see. I was at Evans that same day, actually, Monday. I
Mm.
went there, but I didn't go in because my contact was at the store. So I haven't had a chance to go in there and get back in there. So, but I will this weekend. I'll be at. Well, I won't say where because then they'll start trying to block me. But I'll be in a few more
Yeah. Yeah.
towers
Yeah.
this weekend.
That's what's up. On another front, Brother Terrell McKinney, Senator McKinney, is in the chat right now saying, I'm working on addressing a lot of the issues with OHA within the Urban Affairs Committee package. So check out, be on the lookout for that LB 840.
Man,
We've been
Man.
talking about it. This is the time for us to put boots to roots and help with that situation as well. There's a couple boots to the roots situations we can help with. First of all,
Yeah.
here's one right here where we can go show up for LB 840, or we can write letters. But we also got the one of the Mr. Boots to the Roots right here with us. Tell us what we can do, man. Action items on some of this OHA stuff.
I would say action items really continue to follow and share the stories if you got people in the towers because the complaints is going to stack up. But then when we do
Mm-hmm.
get the senators and council people who's actually listening, then show up to the meetings and the council meetings and the stuff so it don't look like it's just one person doing everything or just this small group of people. And I've been mindful to share. Like I get a lot of stuff, but I pass it to other people because I want them to tell the stories as well because I don't want to become a target being the only one. And you silence Sherman, then that's the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Right.
we have to let it be known that there's a lot of people who's concerned and willing to advocate for their communities. And That's one thing I've noticed from the past. People who did some of the stuff that we're doing, they went at it as the one head, and you chop that head off, and we spend 10 years mourning that one person.
Mm.
Um,
Right,
have
right.
to be mindful that it should be more like the Taliban. You kill one of them, the next within the next hour, I'm the leader. And if we're moving forward with the plan as possible, as proceeded.
Man,
So I'm like, we have to make sure we're doing that for sure.
Yeah, we
that
kind
part,
of the
that
ones
part.
that originated that kind of way of thinking. I think about the Black Lives Matter movement that
Man,
was a
Mm.
movement that was spawned forth when they understood that if we have some leaders, they might assassinate them leaders. So let's nobody be the leader. Let's all be the leader, and
right?
and a movement begins. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
8:20 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we got about maybe 10 more minutes with Brother Wells. We definitely got to jump into the Levi Blake Foundation that was formed. I want to
Yes.
put I
Yes,
want to put
yes,
that out
yes,
there,
yes.
buddy. And I know you got some other things even that you want to talk to Brother Wells about. So just trying to make sure that we stay on track. What would you fellas like to
Hmm.
speak on next?
Well, that was where my mind was.
Yeah.
Paul, you kind of on the same page. I didn't even know you was hip, but yes, yes, yes. The
Yes,
Levi
sir.
Blake Foundation has been launched. Shout out, to the family that's been working behind the scenes. Shout out to you, brother Sherman, for assisting my fam with this. Can you kind of speak to where we are now? I know there's been a lot of movement, a lot of back and forth with Omaha police. I know there's been attempts to get a Crime Stoppers situation going? Where are we with the whole Levi Blake situation?
So right now, the reason why we had to form the Levi Blake Foundation is because we couldn't get a bank to set up an account where people can come and donate because we are looking to get some reward money to offer for information of the whereabouts of Mr. Blake.
Hmm.
And so we formed the foundation so then we can get an account. So then when people come, they can do that. The Crime Stoppers and the police Crime Stoppers didn't want to host the reward, so we're going to have it at the bank. The police kind of been still the detective, I would say, not the police. The one that's working with us, he's been in communication. We did get a clear map mapped out, so we have some new locations that we'll be searching that we kind of missed in areas where people that we know were that was associated with him. They kind of stay in them areas, so we don't know if he tried to go to their houses or things like that. And then also, we have some updated information about his life, what he was doing. A lot
Hmm.
of people don't know that Mr. Blake had a 60-year-old girlfriend, and Mr. Blake's 60-year-old girlfriend had a son that was his caregiver. And
Oh
so
wow.
a lot of that information people don't know, but it's not to point the finger at him, but it's still to say, here you got a girlfriend and a son that's caregiving for Mr. Blake, but they've never helped with any searches or tried to reach out to the family to provide any information about his caregiver.
Hmm.
So, I mean, we have to be mindful and serious when we thinking about a missing 80-year-old man that supposedly went left walking, and we haven't found him. And again, the woman at the apartment building, I have her on record saying that when she looked at the camera for August 17th, Mr. Blake was not seen on tape walking out of his apartment. He was not.
Hmm.
He was
Like
not
no
seen on
inside
tape walking
cameras.
out of his apartment, coming out the elevator, in the front of the building, or nothing. But
Mm.
Omaha police got this doorbell camera of some old man walking up the street on August 17th. But how is that him on the doorbell camera when it was not him leaving his apartment? What are
Hmm.
we talking about? So those kind of things is I keep that stuff in the back of my mind while I continue to search for him. But those are things that we have to keep in our mind, bro. Like there could possibly have been something else that happened to him, and as the citizens of Omaha, we cannot let a grown human man, black man life go unaccounted for. There has to be some accountability.
Hmm.
That's real. That's real. Of course, we always appreciate your efforts on this, man. Keeping it front of mind and keep on working towards this. So uh, this new foundation that you got going on. What's the information on that? How can you get to Maybe is there a fund there? Is a way to help fund that?
Yeah,
How's
so it's actually today we're visiting with American National Bank right there on 30th. We initially had it at Citrus, and that's where we encountered the problems where they wouldn't put his name or a note or nothing to say that, because we had people that was coming to Citrus at first to donate, but people were saying there's no Levi Blank account here. And so
Mm,
without them being able to add his name to nothing, that's why we had to get the foundation going now.
hmm.
Um, we couldn't establish an estate account because you need a death certificate, and we clearly don't have a death certificate because we don't know if he's dead or not. So
right.
we had to go the foundation route for now, because you know that's the only way that we're going to be able to start getting some money in a bank where people's comfortable. We also do still have a GoFundMe, but there's no traction on it, and so the account is to establish a reward fund, to get billboards put up. We have to make sure that his face and his story is staying up front. So soon as we get this account today, then most likely this week we'll have another press conference rehatching the story, bringing it all back alive. So
Okay.
Man, man, yeah,
Well, like
yeah.
it's,
Again, thank you. Yeah,
yeah,
just been been kind of seeing this whole, just reminding the people this has been going on for quite some time, like long enough to Mr. Blake disappeared when we were at a heat advisory. He's been going long enough for it to cool down, and now it's starting to heat back up.
yeah,
And again,
and
there's
that
been
I think
hoops, hurdles.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's part of the reason why the investigation is the way it is, because the initial ball drop was the 10 days waiting to tell the community that he was missing. And
How long?
10 days before they told the community he was missing. And there's a silver alert in the state of Nebraska that should have went out, and we should have established a 2 mile radius search within hours of him being reported. And that didn't happen for Mr. Blake. And clearly on the news, they said even though he was an elderly man with dementia and it was hot, they said he didn't qualify for the silver alert. But when you look at the qualifications for the silver alert, their reason was because he didn't have 24-hour care. But on the list of qualifications, brother, that's not even a qualification, 24-hour care. The
Mm,
qualifications are: is it hot and you think he might die from the heat or cold? Do he have a health condition that could cause him to pass, or is he an elderly man that could be out here vulnerable to predators? He qualified for all three of those.
right.
yeah.
Clearly, you have a situation where the Omaha Police Department dropped the ball on that, and so I think that might be some of the hesitation, because nobody wants to say when they're wrong.
Right,
Nobody
right,
wants to say
right,
when they
right.
messed up.
And even to the 24-hour care, to my understanding, there were multiple appeals to get 24-hour care for Mr. Blake. Is that correct?
Yeah, there were appeals to get him some 24-hour care, and it kind of fell on deaf ears. I mean,
Mhm.
I know he called himself Pone, so that brother was a serious brother. He,
Oh
he
yeah.
he was gangstified, and so I know he enjoyed his freedom. But yeah, I think that the 24-hour care, we wouldn't be here right now. So now that we are here, we're
So
gonna focus on bringing him home for his family to get some closure, and definitely making sure it don't happen again. So the foundation is going to be really, Terry is putting together search parties, and different things that can help with tracking and keeping up with our dementia elderly people.
Yo, that's great.
man,
And that's how you
and that's
turn
kind of what I wanted to
power.
point
Man,
to.
I love that for him, man, and their family, man. It's beautiful.
That's what's up.
Man,
We had
yeah. Shout out to Uncle T, man.
there you go. We had an uncle. I'm sorry, we had a older flyer that you put out us November back in November 16th, where we wanted everybody to kind of collaborate and go into your own areas and take some photos and send them back to hashtag Where is Mr. Blake, and a number to contact and all that. And I know I saw a few people did that. There's a few of the chat chimers even put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha. We went out and took a few photos and so on and so forth. And we back then said, hey, we're going to continue to do this. Let's continue to do this, not drop the ball on us. So I'm just putting this back out as a reminder The brother's still
Hmm.
missing, and we still need to do our part to try to find out what's going on. But this is a good news that this foundation is going to be up and running. Does it look like there's going to be an award set up, or you been able to talk to some folks about that?
Yeah, we have a lot of donors on standby, and we need to be able to receive business checks. So Centris turned away a few business checks from
Mm.
owners saying that they couldn't deposit business checks. So it was just too many hiccups there,
Hmm.
and that's why we had to move and do something else. Hold on.
Okay. Well, they blowing you up over there.
I
Yeah,
know,
right,
man.
right. Brother been
But
busy.
so yeah, that part is good. We'll be able to get some billboards, bus stops, stuff like that with his face on it, so
Good,
people don't forget.
And that
good, beautiful.
hashtag is this hashtag still good. You guys are still using that.
Yeah,
And
hashtag
what
weird
about the
misplay.
and the phone number here 444?
Detective Shragi is still the guy.
Okay.
Eventually, we'll probably take his name off because if he get promoted or moved, then it might change. So, but that
Right.
number will
Mm.
still be the same because that's the number to the missing persons department.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. Appreciate you, man. 8:31 right now. If
Yeah.
you believe in the concept of time, before we let you go here, any words for the people? Anything that you want to leave us with?
Uh, Well, I do want to say there's a new case that a new situation popped up on my radar. I want y'all to be looking out for. Brother
Okay.
Okay.
Daryl Griffin. Last year, Brother Daryl was broke down on the interstate, and a white guy came and slammed into the back of his car, which started it on fire. And he got pinned in the car, and he burned and died in the car. The police did not even ticket the white man for doing it. He didn't get a ticket, no motor vehicle homicide, no nothing. And his
Mm.
family contacted me because they want answers.
Well,
Um,
what's his
so
name again?
Daryl Griffin,
Daryl Griffin.
brother Daryl Griffin, he was 60 years old, and it's just the lack of accountability again. Why wouldn't the Omaha police? Did y'all breathalyze him? Did he get a ticket? Anything? But I found out that the guy who did it was a local baseball hero star, white guy, young man. He
Mm,
got
Mm.
family connections in the community, so it kind of used the broom and swept that one right on under the rug. But
Mm.
what we do is dig stuff out, just like we dug out about Mr. Rudy White. His daughter approached me, not knowing how he died and what happened. And Brother Ernie Chambers, shout out to him for keeping documents for 40 years when he knew something wasn't right. So the moment
Mm.
I started digging into it and getting the police report, Ernie had those documents, and we were able to piece together what actually happened to Brother Rudy. And his daughter was able to get some closure on understanding how her father passed, but he didn't die a chump, he died a hero. Um,
man.
and his death sparked Ernie Chambers to call the federal government to complain about the police brutality that's going on in Omaha, and that was way
Mm.
back in the 70s. So here we are now, still, brother Daryl rammed from the back, broke down in broad daylight. It wasn't nighttime. Everybody else seemed to go around, but you just ran right into the back of him in a Ford F-150 and blew this brother up. So I mean, you hit him so hard, his gas tank started on fire, pinned him in the car, and he couldn't get out. He burned to death on the scene. So
Bro.
Man, it's tragic.
Keep us posted, man. Some of these things I can hear. These are all individual documentary films, as far as I'm concerned,
Man,
with these storylines here. We gotta let the people know what's going on around here. So we really appreciate it, man. When you talk about generating our own headlines, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about right here. This is where else
story
are
got
we
to be
gonna hear
told.
that but from right, but from a brother like you who's talking to the families of these things that are happening. Boost to the
yeah,
roots.
and I definitely wasn't elected. I was selected, and
Mm.
I keep that in mind as I move forward because this was not something I said. Hey, everybody, contact me about. No, it's just what God placed, and so I'm gonna just continue working through God and continue whatever He puts my spirit on or put my body on in the mission. I'm gonna just do that, man, until I'm out of here. So
That's what's up,
Man,
bro.
man, man.
This is season 8. We call this I'm sorry, season 7. This is what we call the Love Supreme. This whole season is about the art
yes,
that we do, the work that we do, being the soldiers of art, and using that, and having love as the motivation to do what we're doing for the neighborhood, for ourselves, for our families. You a prime example of that, proponent of that. I feel like everything you do is for the love, because of love,
Yes, sir.
and you're using your artistry, bro. Like we following you. We trying to be like you when we get on TikTok. We trying to be like
Man,
you when it comes to the stuff that you're doing. I'm looking at trying to get my background happening like what you got going on. Like
nah,
seriously, the artwork, the stuff that you're doing, even the merch that you got.
man.
I saw who did I see? I saw you, and I saw brother. Who did I see?
Oh, Willie Hamilton.
Billy Hamilton walk. I said, I gotta get me a jacket. Y'all styling with these jackets out here, bro.
Wearing that jacket
Man,
every day. But I appreciate it.
represent.
It
Yeah,
takes a lot of courage to wear an untamed jacket with the smoke I'm creating around here. So we're gonna keep moving forward.
yeah.
So
But shout out to you and your artistry and the way that you're using your artistry to really shine some light on what's going on in the hood, and also the love that you have for that motivates you to do all that. So just want to acknowledge that and
Yeah, man.
appreciate you very
appreciate
much, bro.
True love supreme.
it. Yes, sir.
Yep,
Much
yep.
love. Yeah,
We'll have you back again, man. We're gonna have to have you back regularly, brother. It's just too many things to talk about with you. So I don't know how your Mondays would look, but if you and brother Kasim want to come on and update us on stuff, then really we'll appreciate that very much.
for sure.
Cashel Wells in
Yeah.
the chat said she was in there. She was at work checking you out, making sure you behaved. She said
No,
earlier.
when we were sitting at home and the news came on, first I was surprised that they even showed it. She like, babe, what did you do? I said, oh man, I thought I was gonna be, but no, man, they got me on here beating my chest.
Man,
that finger that was at the end. I said, "Oh man, I didn't know they was gonna blast me on there like that. I didn't even realize I stepped up that far to be on the camera. I think they kind of turned the camera to get me."
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah, oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Like I said, we was watching the live stream and I saw everybody. I knew who was in. I couldn't see who was in the room, but I knew it was y'all because Mike Maroney was sitting there like this. Everybody was sitting there real defensive. I was like, oh, they must be all the heads in there behind that camera.
man. Yeah, that body language told it all. Told it all.
Yes, sir. All right, appreciate you, bro. We're gonna let you go about your day, but we'll catch up with you real soon.
yes, sir. Appreciate y'all, man. Love, man.
Peace,
Love,
brother.
love, love. Man, powerful brother, powerful brother. Ladies and gentlemen, Sherman Wells.
Sherman Wells, Untamed. Check him out.
Man,
You talking
going
about
down.
Boost to the Roots? Yep, yep. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and finish up some stories. Thanks for joining us and staying with us this long. Thanks for all your comments and questions in with Brother Wells. If you got more of them, you can always go to Friends of First Sky Omaha, drop them there. That's
Yep.
where we have to just continue the discussion when we're not live on Monday, Wednesday, Friday here. So thanks for everybody who's doing that so far. And yeah, man, let's follow his example, man. Boost to the Roots for the love through the art. That's what it's all about. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'm Paul B. the Dove. He's Buddi3 Da Gawd. It's going
Hey.
down.
Time to get my hustle on. Hustle till the break of dawn. Do whatever makes me strong. Worry about the right or wrong. Time to get my hustle on. Hustle till the break of dawn. Do whatever makes me strong. Worry about the right or wrong. Living in the HIC. Brothers all surrounding me. Ain't no futures here, just lives full of pain and fear. Time for a different stroke. I'm tired always being broke. Me and just about all my folks. Tired of being without hope. So it's time to get my hustle on. Hustle till the break of dawn.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You're listening to First
Hey.
Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Shout out to Brother Sherman Wells for coming on, blessing us with
Man,
that interview. Yeah, man.
powerful,
Yeah.
powerful brother.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. If you missed any parts of that interview, please go back and watch it in its entirety on Facebook or YouTube, probably both, so you can check out all the chats as
Mhm.
well. Everybody that put in a lot of good comments and information, a lot of things to talk about, we'll continue to do that. And we're not done talking about what happened at that meeting. They're still going to reach out to Mike Maroney's office, speaking to the senators again on Monday. And also we're going to put a call out to Brother Shabazz if he's still in here and down to come through on Friday and let us give us your take on what happened as well. Definitely some things that we need to talk about. We're still trying to get people who are on the same page as far as trying to really enhance the black community and make sure that we don't have any misinterpretations and communications of things. So definitely some family talk to be had, and we're going to try to engage and do that here on the show, and whatever else we need to do. So appreciate it very much when everybody has the energy to go ahead and chime up, put your opinions in the facts and the things that you are looking up and the research out there for us to consider and talk about. It's a very valuable resource that we all have built here with being able to have these conversations. So I appreciate it very much, and we'll continue to do it. Brooke Allen gives us a good morning. Good morning to you. Appreciate you coming on in. Black Dynamite said that was hot. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Well, I'm
Yeah,
glad you
man.
like that track. Tony Johnson said, have you guys talked about the seats opening up on the state school board? Anything from North Omaha? Anybody from North Omaha running? Yeah, we talked briefly about that. We don't know about anybody who's running for those. Just getting the news that those seats are opening up. So, Buddy and I had a little discussion about this morning. He was kind of hipping me to the power that the state actually has. We kind of found out that the individual school boards have a little bit more power. Not school boards, but school districts have a little bit more
Yep.
power.
Yep.
But it's a maybe you can explain that, Buddy, a little bit if there's
Yeah,
an
yeah. Haven't
advantage to
really
being in those seats.
Yeah, haven't really gotten into that in great detail. I actually had that lined up for the next story. So as always, very serendipitous. The chat timer's on point. So we appreciate you for standing, keeping up with the conversation, and just on time, Brother Johnson. No, we have not really gotten into it in detail, but as the Nebraska Examiner reports, there is actually about half of the state's Board of Education members expected to step down. Some, just due to feeling like it's time. Some possibly feeling the political pressure that's going on again over the last couple of years, especially under the Trump administration. There was a lot of scrutiny and a lot of attention, a lot of energy going towards schools and education, and you had things like CRT and transgender, education and LGBTQIA rights. There was the whole sex education uh, hoopla really that went down, and again, some are believing that all of that is the reason why, again, the state board of education now will go without half of its members. Patsy Coke Johnson, Lisa Frick, Patty Goebbels, and Jacqueline Morrison all did not file to defend their seats this year on the 8-member board, which helped shape, again, state education policy. Their departures come just 2 years after increased public attention and pressure from conservative Nebraskans shifted the board's political center to the right. So again, kind of going to a comment made earlier in the chat that says the state's school board is kind of going towards the direction of the most extreme of the extremes. Again, it's very interesting. Kind of going through this article, some of the members actually feel like the board is pretty even in regards to, if anybody from Omaha is running. It actually looks like Omaha is accounted for. Districts 1 in Lincoln and District 4 in Omaha currently have board members representing those areas, and they are actually leaning left on the political spectrum. And then District 2 in Sarpy County, and then also District 3, which holds areas like Columbus and Norfolk, Nebraska. Of course, they're leaning more toward the right. But again, the question is, how will that balance tip when these other 4 seats are filled? Again, there's a lot of issues surrounding that whole state board of education piece. Many campaigning are actually continuing to emphasize things like parents' rights or banning or restricting books, which again is a lot of the hoopla, a lot of the conversation that you heard coming specifically from the right towards again the school boards, school districts across the state. And then again, some on the other side of the political spectrum on the left and are in the center are labeling such stances as extremists. Of course, we've seen things happening in Texas and Florida and other areas around the country where the education portion has been, man, almost reshaped completely, almost a whole facelift. In Florida, you're seeing reports of school districts and parents having to sign permission slips just for their students to see books that were written by African Americans. So again, there's a lot of scrutiny, a lot of attention, a lot of worry about what's going on with the school board at the state level, and to kind of give a picture of how much attention is really now being put in this article. It lays out that several years ago, it would only cost about $20,000 to $30,000 to campaign for such a position that isn't paid. Again, this is a non-paid elected position. And even still, a couple years ago, 20, 30,000 to campaign. And that number has ballooned to almost six figures in order to campaign for the position. So, again, a lot of attention, a lot of finances, a lot of political energy being put into those positions. So there's a lot of weight. But again, as Paul mentioned, we did learn towards our conversations with social studies and trying to diversify some of those things in the schools that a lot of it really ultimately falls on the districts as far as the state board issues the policy, and then the district kind of decides if, how, or when that's implemented. So
Mhm.
again, a lot of things to we talk about OPS a lot, but some attention should definitely be pointed towards the state board as well.
Kimmer has a good point here. It's an unpaid position and zero stipends.
Yep.
So again, it's one of those positions that you got to kind of be independently wealthy to be able to be able to fill,
Yep.
because you don't have to spend your time going to a 9 to 5. Then you can spend your time doing that, which kind of leaves a whole lot of people out. So as far as anybody, anybody is running for those for trying to get into those seats, it's going to be a little bit of an issue as well on that. So I appreciate that information, and yeah, and yeah, just it is something to look out for. I'm glad that chat chambers are bringing it up. It's definitely something to look out for. They don't have as much power as you would think, but they got a little, and we've just went through a whole situation where our last governor was trying to really take over the school system, man, get rid of the whole situation so they can control it. So yeah, political pressure and all kinds of other things I can
Hmm.
imagine is the reason why we're in the state we're in now. And it doesn't do anything to help any of the districts or any of the kids in the first place at all for us to not have a working education board. That it's just more of this. It's more problem, more of the same, more issues. Piling on other issues.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah. Just systemic shortcomings is kind of the way I
There you
put it.
go.
It seems like
Like
everywhere you look, it's holes. The prison system, child welfare, now education losing half of its board, and to Kimmer's point, unpaid, zero stipends, and yet you have now people pouring in six figures into their campaign for such a position. Like, why, would an entity feel the need to spend so much money to campaign for such a position? What power do they see there? And to your point, where's the money coming from? Like, who are these people that are in the financial position to either have the backing or to be in the position themselves to run for that? It's definitely some things we should look out for,
yeah.
especially as I mentioned, what we've seen in other states, Florida, Texas. We call Nebraska the Mississippi of the Midwest. Hey, we could be a lot more accurate than we even know.
There you go. Appreciate the comments on this. We'll definitely look into it more, talk more about this as time as it comes up. I want to personally learn a little bit more about the power that the board actually does have, especially in comparison to the districts in the Omaha Public School Board and the faculty. That's really kind of like where it lies for me. So who has the responsibility? Who has the power here to make the kind of changes we're looking for? Can we get teachers paid better? Can we get
Man,
can we get better programs for the kids? Lots there. Can we change this whole idea of whatever zip code you live in? That's who's paying for your school. There's so many things that need to be addressed and changed, and where does that start? So we'll
yeah,
definitely look more into that.
yep.
8:48 coming to the close of the show. Just want to jump in real quick and acknowledge Tanaya Patterson, who's speaking of her friend. Let me. I lost it. Daryl Griffin, who just Sherman Wells was just talking about. That's the brother that
Hmm.
passed away. That he's now looking for, trying to address some accountability for his death. She says he was a good friend, a great chess player and singer. Killed on my birthday, and per usual, no real inquiry into public accountability is par for the course when it comes to our people in this country, city, state, county, city, state, country.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So as you can see, we got there's people that we know, people Chad Chimers here that know some of our community members that have passed away, and no accountability. So shout out to people like Sherman Wells, who's really trying to put boots to the roots on getting some.
Yeah.
So yeah, appreciate that very much. Lots of things in the chat. I definitely say go back again and check out what a lot of the things that are being said in the chat. A lot of great information to add on to some of these stories that we're talking about. But since we're getting a little late in the show, buddy, Anything else that you want to top of mind to get out before we get out of here, or you ready to go to lightning round, or how you feeling?
I just want to acknowledge a couple last comments, and then we can hop in the lightning round and wrap
Cool.
things up. Uh, excuse me, brother Tony Johnson, who actually asked the question about the article. He says voice of community is limited with Omaha public schools and
Mhm.
boards, so any voice on education is greatly needed for Black youth. I definitely agree. When we talk about the preschool to prison pipeline, this is something that we should look at, look out for as far as some of the moves coming from the state board and how that kind of affects again us at the local level. Also, Sister Kimra, who was a part of OPS's board, speaking out, saying, I'm out walking this morning and I met another Black person in my neighborhood, and I also met another neighbor. She's been having some problems with city council.
Mm.
She also says also 150-day averages out to be about 3,000 per month. I was just thinking about the senator's stipend, again, talking about some of the money elected officials make. And then she says, I can connect you with Deb Neary. She knows, she's on state board. And Deb Neary is actually quoted in this article, kind of speaking to some of the work that the board is doing, saying that she felt like they actually did a good job at not getting into some of the culture wars, as she mentioned,
Mm.
and some of the things that are surrounding the school, just surrounding education in general politically. So would definitely love to speak to her if you can make that connection. Yeah, just to get more information, as Paul said, would like to learn more about what the state board is doing. So yeah, big
Absolutely.
ups to all y'all commenting. We appreciate you letting your voice be known, letting your voice be heard, letting your mind be free. But with that, just a few minutes left in this thing. Paul B, we'll jump
Yo,
into
yo,
lightning round.
let's jump into a lightning round. Let's do it.
Hey, so again, we appreciate y'all for commenting. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, and this is our lightning round, man. Come on, actually, with some good news. Speaking of education, shout out to our partners over at OPA. This is something I came across, man. Some heads, some of the folks. Shout out to my man's Aaron Gregory, very very talented dance teacher, and then also my brother Kethro, DJ Kethro, Keith Rogers coming in, and they're joining forces again with OPA to teach our youth about hip hop. Man, still celebrating 50 years. Again, Omaha Performing Arts has teamed up and joining the conversation about hip hop's legacy with a camp for middle and high school students, which will be centered around the history and the three core values of hip hop. One of the teachers, actually participants, excuse me, Jazir Randall, participant in the camp, says they teach me a lot of things about my culture and my history, starting all the way back in 1973 in the Bronx, the birthplace of hip hop, as some would say. And Aaron Gregory, again, who's a community engagement manager with OPA and a close friend of mine, says it's beyond the music, it's visual art, it's photography, it's fashion, it's the whole being, the culture of hip hop that they're going over. And Gregory also says, yes, rap has its angry lyrics sometimes, but it's not all that rap is. Yes, there are some dance moves that people find questionable, but so was the twist in the 50s. Again, a big shout out to DJ Kethro, who's also there with his years and decades of experience as a DJ. He says, over time, I realized that I think this tool I wanted to utilize to share the world. So big shout out to OPA and DJ Kethro and Aaron Rodgers. Also, big shout out to the young folk helping Governor Pillin change his mind. Again, the summer EBT program is now coming after it looked like it was not coming. So big shout out to the Journal Star laid out an article telling the stories of all these young folk and what inspired them to change and get into legislative advocacy through the Nebraska Children and Families Foundation. So big shout out to those 5 young teenagers for getting involved. We need to follow their example. And finally, speaking of following examples, nonprofits have the opportunity to gain some money for helping refugees. The Omaha Community Foundation is awarding a total of $165,000 to nonprofits in the area who serve refugees. The pool of money comes from one of 5 community interest funds, and each grant will range between 5 to 15 grand. The deadline is March 1st. So again, if you or anyone you know is working with refugees out there, there's an opportunity to get some coin and to get some support in helping them. Again, a lot of refugees in our community. Shout out to the brothers and sisters in the Karen community, the South Sudanese community, the Somalian community. Big shout out to them. They are a part of our community as well. So again, if you're assisting, there's some assistance for you. And that does it for
And
our lightning round.
right on. Speaking of assisting, a shout out to the BAA and Untamed for also partnering up with our refugee community. and getting together and doing some things with them as well. So I can't wait for some updates on the progress there. Appreciate that very much. Sherman Wells jumped in the chat, said that was not Amy calling me, just to clear that up. However, when I looked in Messenger, I seen her message to call her, so I will keep y'all updated. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, please do keep us updated on all those things, and yeah, it'd be interesting. And also, like I said, updates on the partnership between some of our refugee communities and what's going on with BAA and Untamed. I'm very excited about that. Actually, very excited about learning about what's happening there and what we can do. So maybe some of them dollars in that grant can go to those the brothers who were working in those entities and be able to get down with the refugee community. So there you go. 8:55 right now. Thanks for the lightning round, buddy. Appreciate that very much.
Yes,
With definitely more things to discuss. Like I said, when we're not live, we continue the conversation over on Friends of First Sky Omaha. So join that group page and continue the conversation there. In the meantime, between time, let's go ahead and jump into a couple of haps that's happening. It is Wednesday. Yeah.
What's the house? What's happening? What's going down?
Time for us to talk about a few things going down. I did see something that was happening today that I thought is timely, and so we better go ahead and talk about it. If I can get to it over here some kind of way. There it is. Okay, cool. And this is something I forgot to talk to Brother Sherman Wells about. There's so many things to talk to this brother about.
Man, busy.
Brother Wells, we apologize. This is one of the things I knew I was forgetting something I wanted to talk to you about, but today, Wednesday, February 21st, at the Rib Shack Smokehouse, there's going to be a benefit fundraiser for the family of Kendrick McDonald. And just wanted to give you, I got this from your page, I believe, so I wanted to get a little background on that. But the McDonald family would like to thank the owner of the Rib Shack Smokehouse, Jackie and Malcolm Robbins, for hosting this fundraiser. 20% of the money made will on Wednesday, February 21st, which is today, will go to the family, third-party delivery service not included. So shout out to the Rib Shack for just being in the middle of being able to do something besides serve food, man. They're trying to help the community out. What's going on here? I saw Brother Wells promote this, and I thought this was something. Yeah, that's actually today. Yep. So February 21st, Rib Shack. I'm not sure what time, but it looks like it's going, an all day thing. Part of the proceeds go to them. Yep. So I appreciate that. He said, yes, sir. Postponement of restoration of the black family. Oh, okay. This is he's talking about something else real quick, but yeah, this is something that's going on today. So you might want to go down and get you some lunch at Rib Shack. Part of your proceeds will help this situation out with the family. Wanted to get a little bit more of the story of what happened here, but if Brother Sherman Wells is promoting it, then that's for the community. So I appreciate him doing that. And it looks like this family needs some help. So benefit fundraiser for the family. Go down and get you some Rib Shack today. So that's what's up. He says, when I was raised in the same household and his mother was a pivotal person in my childhood. Okay. So we're talking about we're talking family. Yeah, appreciate that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
And shout out to the Rib Shack, man. They teamed up with Big Mamas to do the fundraiser for, I think they were trying to get socks for our, houseless brothers and sisters. They've been doing some things, man, and using their business for good to give back to the community. So definitely, this will be a good day to get out there and support the Rib Shack.
Wait. We ain't saying it right.
The Rib Shack.
Gotta say it like the Tribe Called Quest. Gotta say the whole thing and sing it.
Yeah, man. You gotta say it right. Put some respect on their name. So yeah. Definitely shout out to them. Shout out to you, Brother Sherman Wells. We ain't even get into the whole Spencer Project situation. Like brother Sherman Wells been working, man. Yeah. We gotta definitely bring you back. So whenever you're ready, the door is open.
Also, this coming up in a couple of days here is the 21st today. So the 24th, Black History Month, is in full effect. So they're having the Small Business Expo from 12 to 5. There's gonna be voter registration there. This is at the venue at Highlander, 2120 North 30th Street, the Highlander. It's a good idea to go over and check it out, and go check out the No More Empty Pots. Go check out the greenhouse and stuff while you're over there too. A few more things to look at when you get over to Highlander these days. But here's gonna be a Small Business Expo that's happening from 12 to 5. Free entry. Definitely get your dollars together and come and support the small businesses. Shout out to Shawnee for doing the thing she had the other day. She actually had 10 businesses in that space, really kind of doing the thing. So we hope that, I'm getting to know some of these vendors and some of the businesses out here. I hope they're going to be at the Small Business Expo as well. But it's always a good idea, man. Go check it out. I kind of got it on my radar to go check out that kind of stuff first when I'm thinking about food I want to buy. I'm thinking about people, I'm thinking about my man who has the bees and get the honey from that from
Mm-hmm.
him. My man who's still doing the banana pudding and the caramel pudding. I call the pudding man every once in a while. I mean, there's
Oh
so
yeah.
many people out here doing it that it's it's a thing. So I appreciate everybody who is running their business and trying to grow their business. And I always want to look at that first when I'm thinking about buying gifts or anything. I'm at the African American bookstore first. You know what I'm saying? Putting it in your mind to do it first is kind of the key as far as I'm concerned. But let's all show up and show out 12 to 5. Again, this is February 24th, so that's this week. Definitely check it out if you get a chance. So appreciate that. Also, that night at the Highlander, the Black History Dinner
Yep.
is happening. That's February 25th, actually. So not that night, but February 25th.
The next
So
day.
the next day, yeah. So we talked about it last week. Weekend at the Highlander is kind of going down with the expo Saturday and the Black History Dinner on Sunday. So definitely check that out. Looks like there's going to be some heads there. Free, limited seating for the community, so you might want to RSVP for this one. For more information, looks like contact. Let me put my readers on 531-772-5810. And that's for information and probably tickets and things like that too. So definitely check that out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, coming up.
Yeah.
Also mark your calendars in March and go to the Omaha Film Festival, man, March 1st, and support the sisters and the brothers that have put this divisible film together. Another good opportunity to really support them on that. This film is taking off, all about redlining and especially redlining in Omaha. It's really going to affect us in our neighborhoods and gives us a little background and history and the people affected. So yeah, man, shout out and appreciate that very much. In the chat, real quick, Sherman Wells is giving some love too. He said shout out to Tamika and Shawnee for including Untamed. There you go.
Yep.
Appreciate that very much. Contact NOCP for that dinner. Okay, there you go. I appreciate that. We needed to know that. He says the point of that vendor event is to highlight what we could have on 24th Street.
Yeah, man. I
Mm.
mean, everybody always talking about every Omaha day. Why do we do this every weekend? Like, hey, we can.
Yeah, we
Most
do
of the
say
vendors out there live in Omaha. It's a lot of people that come for Omaha days, but most of the vendors out there be in Omaha
that.
other times.
And you know what's crazy is we don't do that every weekend because you got to get permits and the police got to come and cordon off the street and all this mess.
All right.
Whereas that's not needed in other communities in order for us to have some nights, some evenings and daytime events and things to happen and vendors, walking up
Yeah.
and down the street with vendors. So yeah, we'll look at it. Zane says hi. What's up, dude?
The dude.
Got to see you soon, maybe this weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, appreciate everybody that's highlighting that. I would say definitely go highlight and support, especially at the black businesses that are going to be doing things on Saturday, and contact NOCP for the tickets to the dinner on Sunday. It's going to be a Highlander weekend, looks like.
Yeah, yeah. And shout out to Sister Tamika and the North Omaha Community Partnership, aka NOCP. Apparently there will be some awards given out at this dinner as well. So, you're going to be breaking bread and celebrating the community, man. So I definitely shout out to everybody involved. Let's support.
Yep. Appreciate that very much. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. It is 9:03. We're past our agreed upon time. Appreciate you guys allowing us to go past that and sticking with us here. And again, if you have missed any parts of this show, please go back and check it out in its entirety on Facebook and YouTube. And check out the chat when you do. The chats are always going way past what it is that we can really discuss on the show.
Man.
You guys talking to each other, which is great. Bringing out some great information, bringing up some good questions, good topics to talk about in the future. Lots of things happening right now for sure. So appreciate that very much.
Yeah, Sister Green Easter and her diatribes. Yeah, go back in the chat. Go back in the chat. Check it out, y'all. Check it out.
Appreciate everybody who's joined us again. The conversation continues on Friends of First Sky Omaha. But
man, just appreciate y'all. Big shout out to the powerful brother Sherman Wells. Yeah, and just reminding us all of our own power and our own voices, man. So we appreciate you, we love you, we thank you, and the same goes to all of you, the chat chimers, ghost listeners, everybody in attendance right now. If you can hear my voice, thank you, and hopefully you catch the same time, same place, man. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning. If you haven't already, be sure to check us out on TikTok. Also, we're on Instagram and everywhere else, but right now we're working on our TikTok presence. So, go ahead and check us out for those news updates. In the meantime, between time, Paul B,
Yo, yo,
Take it away.
man, brother Anthony Rogers Wright is reminding us it's the anniversary of the death of El Haj Malik Shabazz.
Yes. Yes.
Was gunned down in the Audubon Theater. This is the day. I don't know how we missed that, but this is the day. So I appreciate you reminding us about that. And we'll definitely we've been doing stuff over at Malcolm X Memorial Foundation a lot lately. So I'm wondering if we need to look at them and see what they got going on. I don't think they usually celebrate or have anything much to do on this day. They definitely celebrate the birthday over there. But yeah, it's
Hmm.
always good to keep what's going on. Thinking about what the history of what's happening here, especially the birthplace of Malcolm X. I appreciate that reminder. Thank you for that very much. Brooke is asking where's Dad. He said he was under the weather today. He sent me a message said he was not coming on this morning. So I appreciate that. But yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, Brother Anthony Rogers Wright, for the reminder. We definitely keep that in mind. This is what we were talking about sometimes. When I think about movements, I really, a lot of people, history's going to tell you what the Black Lives Matter movement did,
Mm.
which was an upgrade to the movements of the past in the very fact that there were not supposed to be leaders in this movement, because we said, okay, we gonna have leaders like Malcolm X. You gonna kill him, you gonna gun him down. The Messiah thing that they used to always say in the COINTELPRO papers.
Hmm.
We won't have a Messiah. We'll just be a unit that all moves, instead of having a specific leaders that are figureheads that are standing out. And the Black Lives Matter movement was the biggest movement of ever. It was worldwide. So I really, when I think about those types of things, I think about, okay, yeah, we're gonna figure out a way to get around what's happening there, but we always gonna remember the ones that came before us that gave their lives for the movement.
Yeah.
El Haj Malik Shabazz, aka
Yeah.
Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Gwen Easter said, good show. Have a good day. Thank you. I appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
We are going to get out of here. You guys have a great one. Oh, don't forget, if you're on TikTok, go check us out. First Guy Omaha on TikTok. Your news briefs are over there now as well. And give us some feedback. Let us know how the news briefs are. Let us know if you want the news briefs elsewhere and all that good stuff. Appreciate that very much. Brooke says, buddy, I get to teach at North this
Hey.
semester. So excited to go back after all these years. That's right. My sister, you graduated from North. I forgot about that. Yeah.
These up. These
These
up.
up. All right. But guess what, Brooke? Hashtag kids be dirty. So, put your mask on.
Yeah. That part. That
That's
part.
what's up, though. That's what's up. I appreciate that very much. High school. Um, okay, cool. Yeah, we're gonna get out of here. There was something I was in the middle of saying and lost my thought.
TikTok.
Oh, TikTok, yeah. Yeah, the news briefs. Yeah, let us know about the news briefs. Where else you would like to see those briefs. And I'll be looking for them pretty soon too, man. We got some collaborations going on. 95.7 The Boss.
Yeah,
Some
man.
things we're working on right now. And stay tuned for the drop of the new website as well. Lots of stuff happening.
Yeah.
Well, we need to have you on, Ms. Yarborough, for real. We need to have you
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
to talk about some things.
Talk
Yep,
about your
yep.
run.
I think
Get
this
well
gonna-
soon, pops.
Yeah, pops. Get well soon. I think it's gonna have to be one of our t-shirts, buddy. Hashtag kids be dirty. It's
Oh yeah.
going
It's facts, y'all. It's facts. That's
Shout out. Thanks to the Omaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. And shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. Thanks for everybody in their comments today. Can't do this show without you. Go back and check them out in their entirety in First Sky Omaha, the Facebook page, the YouTube page. And while you're over on YouTube, like and subscribe. And for you serious chat chimers, get used to being over on YouTube, because that's where we're headed as far as trying to upgrade the whole mechanism of chats. YouTube has the most options, so we're going to end up going over there and not so much on Facebook anymore. So we'll do a slow transition, though. We know how y'all love your Facebook. We're gonna make a slow transition. But yeah, get your account over there on YouTube and definitely check us out over there. And like and subscribe when you're there. We really appreciate it very much. There are some shorts over there as well. So some of the news briefs that we're doing on TikTok will also show up on YouTube with YouTube stories or shorts or whatever they got over there. So yeah, be checking it out. She says, I'm good after next week. All right, Miss Yarborough, we're going to have you on as well. As you can see, special guests coming up. And of course, the senators on Mondays. So get your questions ready for them. And anything that you see as far as the legislature is concerned that we need to Make sure that we put the word out to help. Put in Friends of First Sky Omaha. Let's see if we can get as many people up to the legislature as we can to kind of help the senators out, and also to fight against bills that aren't for us as well. So still need support on that end and a bunch of different ends. So think about what you can do. Join your neighborhood association, Boots to the Roots, all that good stuff. Think about what you can do, and we'll continue to encourage and talk about it as we go. Meantime, between time, we will see you on Friday. It is Wednesday today, right?
Yeah, you got it right. You
I
got
got
it
it right this time. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
cool. We'll see you on Friday. You guys have a good one. Take care of yourselves. Peace.
Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the Red